And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the free group coaching that we do every other Monday right here. We do it on Zoom, and then we live stream it on YouTube. And we do this so that we can give everybody some value, man. One of the things I don't want to do is I understand that I have a program that not everybody can join. So in order to fix that problem, alleviate that problem, I try to do as much free training as I can. We'll do Q&As about everything you want. We try to figure out every single problem that you have. The only people who can't seem to figure out their problem is the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. I don't know what the hell that was last night. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. I've never seen anything like that in my life. You talk about a team that went out there with no plan and just got whooped by the 49ers. They didn't even try, bro. Like, they were sitting there, bro. Did you guys see that 3rd and 4 where he just runs a draw play up the middle? There were so many swing passes. Dak tried to get Tony Pollard killed on 3 different occasions last night, throwing this little hitch route over the middle. Like, the thing is, they keep trying to throw these fade routes to receivers that can't beat the press. Something they need to fix something mentally. They need to fix something. When you watch, look, this is actually going to go back to MOA. So Kyle Shanahan and I and Donald Parrish in this call, the 3 of us went to the University of Texas at Austin together at the same time. We're all the same age. John's about a year older than us, but we all went there. Kyle Shanahan was a wide receiver on UT's football team when we were there. And while he was, he's learned, obviously his father was a Super Bowl winning coach, won two Super Bowls with the Broncos. He's come in, and you can see when he has a plan. There's something we talk about in Men of Action. We have a plan. When you have a plan and the plan doesn't go well, you can deviate from the plan. When you don't have a plan, then you just look stupid like the Cowboys looked last night, like last night. That's what it looks like when you don't have a plan. Understand, I look at the Cowboys like they're my children. Just like the same way I look at the Mavericks, same way I look at the Longhorns. They're just my children. I love them no matter what, but I can still be disappointed. Yeah, that was bad, bro. It's like to play the Niners in the divisional round last year and then to get progressively worse. It doesn't make any sense. And the defense didn't even play that bad. They just got put in one bad situation after another. Brock Purdy put some dimes in the middle of that zone. That was really nice, but you guys did not come on here to talk about what happened. Yeah, that UT loss was tough. You guys didn't come here to talk about sports. All right, you guys have your hands raised. I'm going to go over a couple things before we get this started. Number one, if this is the first time you've ever been on this call, put a 1 in the chat. This first time you've ever been on our free Monday call, put a 1 in the chat. Nice. Okay, beautiful. Welcome. All right, the way it works is we're live on YouTube, and we're also, and by the way, those of you who are joining us on YouTube, you guys can you can super chat, and I will read the super chats. We're also going to put all the links in here. We're going to put them on the YouTube link as well. And if you guys have to jump off and just want to go back and watch the replay, you can go watch us on YouTube. We do this every other Monday. It's one of the more popular things we do. We can talk about what happened on Access Vegas last week. We can talk about my birthday party last Thursday, which was pretty wild. We can talk about the debate I just had with Marcus Wolf. Again, we had a round 2 of the debate I had with Marcus Wolf. And Dan Bilzerian jumped on the call along with Lynn Oding. Lynn Oding is the director of Cobra Kai. He's the director of Denzel Washington series called The Equalizer. And he's also the director of Jack Reacher, the series on Amazon. He's the director of that and several other shows. He came on the call. Also, Lynn and Dan Bilzerian Lynn is probably Dan's best friend, one of his best friends. And so he came on the call too. We had a really interesting discussion about the dynamics of how men are attracted to women. And one more thing, I want to make sure that it is absolutely important that you guys understand this. I think it's important for every man to be attractive to women, even if you're married. And I don't mean you need to sleep with them, because you don't. If you have a religious conviction that says, hey, man, Michael, I don't want to have sex with anyone until I'm married, I'm totally fine with that. That does not change this. I'm just telling you guys now, if you are in a situation where you have scarcity in your life, people will take you for granted. Your employer will take you for granted. Your kids will take you for granted. Your family will take you for granted. Your friends will take you for granted, and your girl will take you for granted. You need to have some level of abundance in all areas of your life. If you don't have that, and it's not going to work for you. In Men of Action, this is one of the things we teach you. I don't want this to happen to you. I don't want this to happen to you. But if it does, in MOA, you need to be able to swap out your girl. You need to swap out your social circle. You need to be able to swap out your job in 15 minutes. If you can't do that, you don't have enough abundance. You don't have enough abundance. Okay. That's what we teach in this program. Awesome. So we're going to get to some questions. A couple of things. Number one, Friday the 13th, we're going to be having a mansion party for the Black Tape Project. It's at a secret location. If you guys want info on that, just hit me up on Instagram. It's going to be the 13 Dragons Halloween party with Joel Alvarez, formerly Joel Alvarez, Draken Blackheart, who's going to be taping up 13 girls for that mansion party. The 14th is going to be Babes in Toyland Pink Party in Los Angeles. That is going to be for breast cancer awareness. And on the 15th is going to be the Black Tape Project fashion show at Los Angeles Fashion Week. So if you guys are interested in any of those things, there's availability for you guys to come to any of those deals coming up. On the 26th, I just found out a couple of minutes ago, I'm going to be hosting a costume competition at Tao nightclub. It's going to be for $5,000. First place is $3,000. Second place is $2,000. Second place is $1,500, and third place is going to be $500. If you know any ladies who'd like to compete in those costume competitions, they dress up like Lara Croft or whatever. Apparently this year, though, you can't have anything that even looks like a weapon. So the Lara Croft, every girl always has the Lara Croft with the ponytail and the 2 pistols. You can't bring pistols into Tao nightclub. So if you guys are interested in that or know someone is, let me know. And then for those of you, I don't know if any of you guys are going this, put a 4 in the chat if you're going to this. Swimsuit USA's World Championship starting October 29th. If any of you guys, I know some guys in MOA, there's a good number of guys in MOA are going to this. Put a 4 in the chat if you guys are going to Swimsuit USA's World Championship. That's where I met my girlfriend last year. We're going to be celebrating our anniversary here in a couple of weeks, our 1-year anniversary, because we met at Swimsuit USA's World Championship. And then in November, one of the big things that we got coming up is I got James Sexton, a divorce attorney, who's going to be coming on the program. He's going to be talking about some statistics that deal with divorce that are really, really interesting. And then also I'm going to have on the 30th, we're going to have Babes in Toyland Toy Drive, which we're going to be raising money for the Midnight Mission in Los Angeles. So if you guys are interested in joining any of those things, just message me on Instagram and I will get you invites, get you on the guest list, get you on wherever you need to go. You don't need to be a part of Men of Action to come to our events. And all the charity events, just to let you guys know, you pay to go to charity events. Don't ever ask me, hey, Michael, can you hook me up to go to a charity for ALS, domestic abuse, human trafficking, underprivileged children, Toys for Tots, breast cancer awareness, animal rescue. Don't ask me to get in free. It's a charity event. Listen to me right now. Never ask to get into a charity event for free. That is low class. Don't ever do that. Don't ever ask for a hookup. Guys, I want to let you know something. The toy drive that's happening on the 30th, I'm working the event and I'm still bringing toys and I'm working the event. Don't ever ask me to hook you up with a ticket for a charity event. Have enough pride as a man to go donate to the charity. It's not my fault that I have 300 beautiful women at the charity event. They showed up so that you would pay to come to the event so we could raise money for charity. Don't you ever do that, guys. Have enough class to do that. I can't tell you how many times I get hit up by dudes and they're like, yeah, yo, I'm at the door, get me in. And I'm like, bro, it's $115, but we're raising money for animals. Like, what do you mean you're trying to get in? Like, how do you think we were able to pull this whole thing off, man? You know what I'm saying? Don't be that dude. Don't be that dude. Justin Waller said something, and I don't agree with this 100%, but I agree with it like 85%. Justin Waller says, I don't have any friends. I don't want to be friends if we can't make money together. That's what Justin Waller says. I don't want to be friends if we can't make money together. Obviously, that's not my case. I have a lot of friends back in Dallas. I don't make money with them, and I love them very much. A lot of friends I was in the Air Force with. I'm still friends with them, even though I don't make money with them. But I will tell you, I'm friends with Justin Waller, and we make money together. I'm friends with Dan Fleischman indirectly, and we make money together indirectly. I'm friends with Brad Lee. We definitely make money together. I'm friends with Rollo Tomasi. We make money together. So I'm just going to tell you that as you level up, you're going to have fewer and fewer spots in your life for friend spots. And those friend spots, those roster spots, remember in the NFL, you got the 53-man. It starts at a 90-man roster, then they whittle it down to a 53-man roster. When you get to that spot, there's only so many roster spots for you in your life. Or it's more like an NBA team. You only got 15 spots, 12 people on the bench, and then three on the practice squad or whatever. That's all the spots you got in your life. So who are you going to reserve those spots for? Dudes that want you to go do some drugs with them, get drunk, go hit on girls after you eat a pizza at the club, and they're just drunk and fat, and they're just like losing their mind. You can tell like they believe in all these stupid conspiracy theories and they're uneducated. Or do you want to be around dudes that get up and make money and they're focused and they're like family oriented and, that have their life put together? Who would you rather surround yourself with? I will tell you right now, the wealth I've created in my life is directly proportional to me in my mind, changing the group of friends I have around me to Dan Bilzerian, Ty Lopez, Wes Watson, Brad Lee, Ryan Stewman, Dan Fleischman, Greg O'Gallagher, Brandon Carter, Myron Gaines, Rollo Tomasi, Justin Waller. That's my group of friends now. And because of that, we make money. Cole Gordon, we make money now. And that's when I'm around these guys, I ever have a question, they immediately know, like I know I can go to them anytime and they'll answer my call. Adam Sosnick, immediately. Immediately. I can ask them a question and they'll come to me with help. And because they know that I'll do the same thing for them. And all of them know, every guy I just mentioned, all of them know unequivocally, if they step foot anywhere in Las Vegas, they never have to wait to go into any fucking venue ever when they come to Las Vegas, because that's the way they get treated, because we're all in one friend group. You should want to be the dumbest and poorest person in whatever room you're in. Should be your aim. Your aim should be in a room full of people who are smarter and more successful than you all the time. Okay? If you want to lift yourself up. And unfortunately, like, again, when you go home for Thanksgiving, is it going to be like that? Are you going to have some fat aunt that's like, how come you don't have more kids? Or why don't you do this? Man, like starts complaining about your life, because she's not living your life. She still loves you, but she's not living your life. So she doesn't understand that whole situation. Ice White says, unfortunately, my IQ is too high. There's a really funny book. It's called The Curse of the High IQ by Aaron Clary. You guys should check it out. Also, one other thing. I'm probably going to put this on the recommended book list for Men of Action. It's called The Book of Numbers by Aaron Clary. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal. Really short. You can probably get through this book in less than 2.5 hours on Audible. Really great book. Okay. All right. We're going to get to some Q&As. If there's anything I forgot, we can discuss it. We can discuss it further. Man, it feels like this fight. It's this week between Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis. We're coming up on it. It's on the 14th. And I got to be honest with you. I don't think either one of them are great boxers, but I'm probably going to end up watching this. Nice. The dumbest and the poorest. Yes. You should try to be the dumbest and the poorest person in whatever room you're trying to go to. At my birthday party, I want to be the dumbest and poorest guy to come to the party. That's what I want to do every single time. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean I leave my friends behind. I got my friends that like aren't that successful that still live in Dallas. I go back and see them all the time, and I'm so happy to see them because they understand a different part of my life and they have different things to contribute to my life, my spiritual well-being and my mentality, my mental state. You know, my best friend from high school, he understands me better than anyone. But I'm just saying, no new friends. Or my new friends are going to be friends that I can succeed and accomplish goals with. Got it? Cool. Arcel, what's your question, man? Hold on a second. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. Hey, Mike. My question is, I have a list of over 1,100 people, and some of these people that are on my list have their IG set to private. So should I follow those people to message people on IG to invite them?
I mean, if you feel the need to, skip it. Like, honestly, when I'm going through a list like that, any kind of road bump, I just skip.
Okay.
The point is abundance. The point is not to like say, I'm going to acquiesce because you went private, because you know that's why people go private. They go private so that you'll follow them. I'm not falling for your trap. My follow is worth something. It's worth more than what you gave me. See you later, homie.
Fair. All right.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
you don't need to follow them to DM them. What you do is up at the top right, there's these 3 dots. You can click there and it'll give you the option to send a message.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Zoom user, what's your question? Zoom user. Hold on, let's do this. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Hey, Mike. My name is Neil. I just want to say thank you for taking your time to do these calls.
Yeah, of course.
I have a question regarding events on the free course that's on the MOA forum. So my question is, when I find a type of event and I send out invites to the girls on IG and they message me back saying that they want to come, who would pay for their ticket? Do I pay?
Really cool. Hold on. It's really funny that you're asking this question, because I've got this question 3 times in the last 3 weeks and I'm really confused what's going on here. Okay. Number 1, okay. Their accommodation and their ticket to get in and their travel should have been discussed before you started doing the messaging. Number 1. Number 2, 99% of the time they get a free ticket to come in, no travel arrangement and no hotel room. Do you understand? The girls that are going to get travel arrangement, a hotel room, is like Kindly Myers, Caitlin Runk, or higher. You with me? Does that make sense? Did we lose you? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Zoom user. Can you unmute yourself again, man?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things you're going to, okay, guys, put a 1 in the chat if this has ever happened to you. If you guys have ever done an event like this, you do an event like this, and the girl with 4 million followers is polite. She reconfirms. She shows up on time. She asks you for nothing. She takes incredible photos. All she does is work while she's there. She doesn't drink. And then she goes home and has awesome photos. So that's one. And then you have a girl who shows up with 4,000 followers. She complains the whole time. She asks you if you're going to pay for her hotel room and her fucking travel. She's rude. She sits there on her phone half the time. Put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced this before when you've thrown this event. The girl who's mid, who's super mid, who's sitting there complaining at your photo shoot, while the girl with 4 million followers is professional. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever experienced this before. It's crazy, bro.
Would that girl with the 4,000 followers like have to go, like to not invite them?
It's not have to go. It's self-selected. It's self-selecting. Like she's just not going to get good photos. I've just found that this is going to come off as really shallow, but I found that as I throw events with prettier girls, I just have fewer problems. Prettier girls or girls who take modeling seriously, they're just easier to work with. Like Kylie Myers is really pretty, but Kylie Myers is not a huge model because she's pretty. She's a huge model because every photographer raves about her because she's so fun to work with. She's not slutty. She doesn't flirt with them. She makes them laugh, and she's professional. That's why she's so huge. The reason why Caitlin Runk is a huge model and the reason why CJ Sparks are huge models is because every photographer raves about shooting them. They know how to pose. They show up on time. They're never drunk. They're always in the right place at the right time. You don't have to tell them how to pose. You don't have to pick out outfits for them. They're professionals. It's one of the weirdest things that happens to you when you guys start doing these events. The prettier the girls you invite with higher social media accounts, the less shit you have to deal with. It's totally the opposite of what you think. When I have Lindsay Palis or Emily Sears, Abigail Ratchford, Caitlin Runk, Chloe Teray, well, by the way, congratulations to her. She's pregnant. She hasn't told me who the father is yet. Whenever any of those people come to your event, they never complain. They show up on time. They look fantastic. They know how to pose. You take them to a table. They don't complain about anything. It's these ratchet ass girls who are so entitled because one time they banged the power forward on the Dallas Mavericks. They think that they're a superstar and they come to your event and and they complain the whole time. It's so crazy. You guys will notice the higher you raise, again, we talked about this before. It sucks because I can't do the unmute feature because we have trolls on here. But again, write it in the chat. When we have to have pretty girls at our events, who's judging us? Write it in the chat if you know the answer. If you're an MOA, why is it that we always have to have attractive women at our events and show attractive women at our events? Who's the one who's judging us? Is it men? Who's judging us, guys? Write it in the chat.
Other girls.
It's females who are judging us. It's not men. It's never men. You could have a bunch of mid women at your party and 100 dudes will show up. It's not men. Men don't really care that much. Men don't care. It's women. If you want to be a photographer, and I was like, hey man, I want to be a top tier photographer and shoot the biggest models, then you need to make the most unattractive girl on your page a 9.8. No sevens. No. Again, it's not me. I'm not being shallow. I have tons of female friends who are not attractive. That is not the reason why. I'm telling you, women, I talk to Kindly and CJ and all these other girls, and the first thing they do is they go through your repertoire of photos and they look for the ugliest girl that you shot and be like, well, that's what he can do. That's his standard. It's not men that are shallow, bro. If you didn't know.
It's women.
Okay. Yes. So whenever I throw an event, what does it look like? It looks like there's 73 girls to every guy, and all the girls are beautiful and they're all having a blast. Oh, you want to get even more toxic? You guys want to do something real quick? Somebody do this while we're on the call and then come back with I want to just see the expression on your face. Go use, not FaceApp, Facetune. Go download Facetune and look at the new video enhancement feature on Facetune. You're going to be like, this is going to be your face when you see it. You're going to be like, go out there, find a girl who's just, aesthetically disabled, unattractive, whatever. Take a video with her, then do the enhance feature, and then post the video again, and you're going to be like, that's the look on your face when you see what this free app does in 10 seconds to your video. As aesthetically disabled. We say some dudes are vertically challenged. You know what I'm saying? Some women are calorically abundant. That's a word that we can use. We can say that instead, rotund, also, aesthetically disabled. Cool. So look at Facetune and FaceApp, what it can do. Social media, rule number 4, social media is fake, and I'm okay with that. It's just the way it is. Like even, bro, even if you're like advertising a church, go look at the people on the church brochure. Do they ever have crooked teeth or bad hair? They're young, good-looking people, vibrant people. Come to the church. Look at who's in this youth group. Look at these attractive people in here. Everyone does this. It is a function of evolutionary psychology. None of us can get away from it. None of us. It's just the way the world works. Because rule number 4, social media is fake, and I'm okay with that. Okay? Cool. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, Michael, thank you.
Okay, cool. So just like we'll go back to what I was saying before. You need to have that settled beforehand. Girls do not get travel or hotel paid for ever unless they're super special and they're doing you a huge favor, or if you have a sponsor who specifically wants to do it. We did that one time. We threw an event out in Ibiza and someone paid for Tawny Jordan and Chloe Teray to come to the event. So that does happen. And I've seen situations where girls will get flown out, and the girls who are getting flown out are the most unappreciative women at the entire shoot. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. I do not care if you're like, I have problems with 2 types of people who don't have gratitude and people who are hypocrites. I don't have room for them. You can say whatever you want about me. You can call me all kinds of names. You can't call me a hypocrite. Cowboys lose, I'm still a Cowboys fan. Cowboys win, I'm still a Cowboys fan. You can't call me a hypocrite. You can't call me a hypocrite. Okay? Longhorns lose, I'm still a Longhorns fan. Longhorns win, I'm still a Longhorns fan. You can't call me all kinds of names. You can't call me a hypocrite. All right? The other thing, I have a problem with people who don't have gratitude. Dude, do you understand? This is what I do for a living. I'm sitting here on a microphone. I don't have no bales of, hey, I got to like lift up. I don't have any backbreaking work. I don't my ass cracking, sticking out there. Although I will say this, guys who run crews of plumbers, electricians, carpenters, concrete workers, bricklayers, these dudes are making $300K a year now. Housing prices are going up. They don't have enough. They can't build houses fast enough. Dude, guys in the trades right now are killing it. They're killing it. Why? Because they have a direct relation to building assets. And so they become a necessity. The dude with the master's degree in philosophy, he can't find a job. The guy who's actually actually has a skilled trade as a plumber, we can't get enough of these people in the United States. We can't get enough of them now. The world has changed. We need people because we got too many people who want to take virtual jobs like me and not enough people who actually want to get their hands dirty. That's what ends up happening. It's really crazy what's going on right now, man. And same thing with the trades, making real money. You want to know what else? I'm going to tell you guys real quick. I'm way off on a tangent, but like I said, I got too much caffeine in me. If you have a job right now that, one, does not allow you to wear headphones during your job so you can listen to audiobooks, and 2, you make less money per hour than an Uber driver, I am telling you, you must quit your job. One more time. If you have a job right now that does not allow you to listen to audiobooks while you work, security guard is fine, whatever. And so, like, for instance, you have a job where they're paying you like next to minimum wage and you can't listen to audiobooks, quit your job and drive for Uber. Listen to me. And by the way, when I say Uber Eats is better because the food doesn't talk in the back seat and the food doesn't care about your air conditioning. Like, right? So that's a good one. That's what I would tell you guys is to do that is to absolutely, if you aren't making enough money as an Uber driver, go get on Instacart, bro. Like, just do Instacart for a while, stack some bread, listen to all the books in our book list. Have you listened to How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? Have you read Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink? Have you read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins? Have you read The Operator by Robert O'Neill? Have you read The One Thing by Gary Keller? Have you read Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell? Have you read all these books? Because all the books are listed. They're all on the free school server. If you haven't read, like, honestly, I would quit my job just so I could drive Instacart, just so I could have one earbud in, just so I could get through all those books. And I would keep driving Instacart until I'm done with every single one of those books. And then I would write down every day, here's the problem I'm going to solve. Here's the problem I'm going to solve. You remember we told you about, we don't care about your passion. In MOA, we don't care about your passion. We care about the problem you're going to solve. You become rich from solving problems, not from following your passion. Okay? Bye, guys. You guys want to say hi to everybody? Kayla, come say hi. You're like, literally, you have a fan club at this point. Kayla, guys, say hi to Kayla. This is Kayla with no Instagram. She has no Instagram. So hit her up on IG. They said, hey, Kayla. Look, Paul is like saying, hey, Kayla, Dallas. They're all saying. All right. All right. We're going to get to some more questions. I'm going to try to, once again, we're going to get through every single question here. Let me make sure we're still good on, all right, do we have any? No, we're good. All right. Hold on a second. You guys, you have good questions. For those of you who are asking questions on YouTube, just like at least like you need to do a super chat or I'm not going to see it. You guys need to do a super chat or I'm not going to see it. Okay. It should be easy. One other thing, let me put this in the group real quick. I'm going to go to the school server. If you guys are interested in like joining our community, our free community, I'm not trying to get money out of you. This is totally free. I'm always going to offer as much free stuff as I possibly can. One thing I need you guys to do, for those of you who are on Zoom, you guys can see that link. And then for those of you who are on YouTube, you guys can see that link. And I'm going to pin that link to the top on YouTube. You guys can join that right now. You'll always get a schedule for everything that we're doing whenever you do that. Rollo, just Rollo's on YouTube. Rollo, jump on the call. Hold on. Let me send a Rollo an invite here real quick. Copy invite link. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you guys can still jump on, and there you go. Jump on the Zoom call. It's right there. Jump on the Zoom call. Got it. Okay, got it. Beautiful. All right, we're going to get to some more questions here. Overpromise and overdeliver. Hilarious. Okay, here we go. Austin, what's your question? Austin, we're going to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Mike. So I know you just talked about not following your passion or whatever, but these questions were kind of about that. Like, I just wanted to know your opinion.
But it's fine if you're hold on. It's fine if you're Mike Tyson and your passion is boxing. Then it's okay to follow your passion. Okay. It's fine if your passion is to create web apps and your name is Jeff Bezos. That's fine to do that. What's not fine is when your passion is to masturbate and play video games all day while you smoke marijuana. That's not a passion, but people think that that's their passion. I just want to chase women all the time and look at porn. That's where all your passion is gone. Tell me I'm wrong. That's not a passion. Hey, Mike, do you know the biggest one? Hey, Michael, I want to start an OnlyFans management agency. No, you don't. You just want to bang chicks on OnlyFans. We know what you're doing. I'm not stupid. I know that's why you're doing it, but you're like trying to hide it in some sort of like money-making disguise. Not all of you. Obviously, there's a couple of guys, Godwin, who's in our program. He's legit just trying to make money on OF. He's not trying to bang the girls, but a lot of guys come to me and they're like, I want to do this. Or you throw photo shoots and you're like, I want to get paid from throwing photo shoots. Bro, hardly anyone gets paid throwing photo shoots. Hardly anyone. I will tell you businesses way bigger than yours that it's been a disaster for them. I don't recommend doing that. Any kind of the nightlife or one of the things I do mention in my program is when you throw these events or you help other people throw these events, don't ever do it for money. As soon as you do it for money, the whole dynamic changes. Everything changes. Your sponsors aren't your friends anymore. They all want an ROI. Who, again, can put a 1 in the chat. This ever happened to you? You threw an event. You had a sponsor. The sponsor acted like he was cool. As soon as the event started, the sponsor turned into a creep. And because you didn't give the sponsor what he wanted, he didn't sponsor your event again. Did that happen to any of you? Put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to put a 1 in the chat. That's happened to me like several times. It took me a while to figure that out. I was like, oh, I'm going to make money from this. No, you're not. No, you're not. And they'll say, the sponsor will tell you anything you want to hear, just as long as you can get 25 girls to his house. He'll say anything. He'll promise you his kidney and his firstborn. He'll say anything he's got to do. And then the girls come there and he's like trying to put shit in girls' drinks and take girls up to the second floor. That's why you can't fucking do that, guys. That's why you can't do that. That's why I tell you, there's been people trying to do my program, but they don't take MOA and they've ended up in lawsuits. Yeah, they have. They've ended up in lawsuits because they don't understand the rules. Men never pour women's drinks at any event. That's a rule we have in our program. Did you know that? Men could not hire a girl just to sit there and pour drinks for girls. Men do not pour women's drinks ever. Girls, who here? Put a 1 in the chat if this is ever. I'll say put a 2 because it's getting confusing. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever been to an event and a girl clearly drank too much and then told everyone the next day she got drugged and she didn't get drugged. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever seen that happen. A girl literally did blow, stayed up all night, took Molly, drank a ton, and then the next day told everyone she was drugged. Have you ever seen that happen before? Put a 2 in the chat if you've seen that happen before. Now, maybe she was drugged. She probably wasn't. But I know one thing. Men do not pour women's drinks at my parties. Therefore, she ain't blaming me and she ain't blaming any of my boys. And we got cameras. You can take that shit right on there with Amber Heard. You can take a big old dump on that bed with Amber Heard right next to you. I'm not, no. We film everything here. Sorry, partner. That's not coming. That you can miss me with that. That is never going to happen to any of my guys. We know better. Film everything, and men do not pour women's drinks. I'm not saying I don't trust women. I just know that some girls do this whole thing where they're like, oh my God, I think someone drugged me. Really? Someone drugged me? You're at the gym. You're on a date with another guy today. If someone drugged you, you'd be in the hospital. Like if someone actually drugged you. Anyway, that's something that I've seen happen so many times. Now, if women actually do get drugged, you can tell. You might see some peakedness in the face. You're going to see them like vomited vociferously. You can see, like, I've seen girls get drugged before. It's terrible. Like if you really G'd out a girl, she's going to defecate on herself. If a girl defecates on herself, she probably was drugged. That's where like you'll see it actually happen. Yeah, like if you see that, I've seen that happen before in Atlanta. Like when GHB got popular out in Atlanta, I would see girls like on the floor poop themselves. I'm like, okay, that girl got G'd out. That's for real. That's serious. Okay. Or the K hole. I've seen girls literally K themselves and then blame dudes for it. I have literally seen that happen. And if it wasn't for a video that this guy had, he'd be in jail right now. She literally, you can see her pouring the ketamine in her own drink. And if he didn't have a video of it, he'd be in prison right now. You think I'm kidding? You guys saw what happened to, what's the guy's name? Is it pitcher for the Dodgers or is it outfielder for the Dodgers? He said I had to defend himself against sexual assault allegations. And turns out, Trevor Bauer. And turns out like he had all the evidence in the world to prove he was innocent. Listen, allegations of sexual assault are serious. I work with domestic abuse charities. I don't think there's punishment bad enough for people who rape other individuals. But allegations of sexual assault should be taken equally as seriously. And we need to look at news media organizations who run with stories when they don't have the facts. And that goes for Andrew Tate too. If you don't have the facts and you already proclaim someone's guilty, we need to look at some of this stuff because it's ridiculous. When people turned out that they were that one punter for the Buffalo Bills missed 3 years of his career because he was accused of gang rape of this one girl. Finally, the sheriff's department comes out and says, we got it wrong. And he clearly was not in the same location as this girl. He was completely admonished. There's also that defensive tackle who played at Baylor, who was, he was going to be a first round draft pick. He ended up losing his whole career because of false allegation. When I say provably false, this is not up for debate. Like these people weren't even in the same room during the allegations. Man, it's problematic. Now, of course, 99% of women aren't going to do this, but that 1% of women that have borderline personality disorder, that's the one that's going to get you hemmed up, which is why men do not pour women's drinks. Okay. If you hear me and you agree with what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat. Men do not pour women's drinks at your party. If you understand what I'm saying, if this makes sense to you, if you understand the world that we live in, it's not fair. Nobody's looking out for you. You're a dude. Nobody feels sorry for you. If you understand that concept, no one's coming to save you. And you don't put yourself in compromising situations. I do not drink and drive. I don't sit here and have girls that are super messed up come over to my place ever, because you're just going to get a charge, guys. Don't do it. Don't ever do it. Okay. Beautiful.
I still ask those.
Right, awesome. Questions. Austin, what was it?
Yeah. So I just wanted to know, what's if you have any insight on like the best way to go about getting into modeling personally. Like I want to like do modeling shoots myself to get around like other models as well, like guy model, to like meet girls, and then also own a modeling agency and also get into promoting.
Yeah, Austin. So what I would tell you is, number one, get into promoting. There's no barrier to entry for that. And I would do that for a while before I would even ask the other two questions. Number two, as far as the modeling thing is concerned, you need to take probably a year of your life and become proficient with a camera.
Yeah.
You're asking me for like a trick to get to that place. And I'm going to tell you the answer is to work. The answer is work. The answer is you need to go grind and be a street promoter for a while and figure out a way to where you can, like, when you got to hustle and you got to get 18 girls into a club one night, your mindset changes. When you approach women, you have no fear of them whatsoever. They're just numbers that you're trying to get into a club. And while that's not completely healthy, it's better than being nervous around them. Okay. And you'll see like club promoters generally have no approach anxiety after a while. They don't have any. They know how to dress. They're super calibrated around women. So the club promoter thing, that's not like a heavy goal. I get you a job as a club promoter before the end of this call. That is not a hard thing to do. Basically a club promoter at some places, you're basically an affiliate. If you just get girls in the club, you get paid $20 per girl, $40 per girl, whatever. Or the better the club, the less money you make. The worse the club, the more money you make per person. And that goes for strip clubs as well. So that's what I would do. First off, I would do the club promoter thing and just see how you like it. Because the problem is if I teach you how to throw photo shoots and you're not calibrated, and I don't know if you are because you're not in Men of Action, then you're going to do a bunch of photo shoots and you're going to be the creepy guy at the photo. I'm not saying you're creepy, Austin, but you're going to be the creepy guy at the photo shoots if you don't calibrate yourself. Got it?
I'm in Men of Action.
You are in Men of Action. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. Well, let's talk about this on the Tuesday call and I'll go over it with you step by step. And by the way, all the questions you're asking there are answered in the program. How far are you through the program?
I'm reading The Wolf. Oh,
well, The Way of the Wolf. Hold on.
Wait.
Babe, come here. Hey guys, say hi to Kat. Say hi to Kylie. You gotta say hi to Kylie. Wave. Everybody wave. You better fucking wave or I'm ending this call right now. There you go. Bye, baby. All right. Oh, and got her. You can just leave it open. She'll come back in. If you take that chair, put it up there, she'll just walk right back in. Yeah, that's way easier. Else you're gonna spend half an hour. I can't help you get her right now. Cat just ran out in the hallway. I promise you can't. Go ahead and just put that right there. Yeah, not with that backpack. You're not gonna get her. All right. So just want to let you guys understand these concepts. I hope, for some of you, these concepts may be new to you, but like, I'm just looking out for you and just want to understand the truth. If some other people don't want to tell you the truth, I'm here to help you understand some of these concepts. Cool. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, one year work with the camera. Like I run my own wood flooring company, so I could probably just start doing that for my own personal business.
Austin, you're asking me, how do I own a modeling agency? And my answer to you is, what value do you bring to models? And the answer is fucking none, bro. It's none. And you're one of my clients, and I'm being honest with you. Nothing. You bring nothing to the table. So work your ass off so you can bring something. Get brand deals. Become an incredible photographer. Throw better parties than anyone else. Get celebrities to come to those parties. Have red carpet events. That's the answer. Have value for them. There's no shortcut, right? For those of you who know the program, there is no shortcut in MOA. MOA is the shortcut. All right, let's go to the next one. Alan, what's your question? Hold on, Alan. Unmute yourself.
Hey, what's going on, Michael? Can you hear me?
What's happening? You sure can.
Awesome. Yes, sir. So it's my first time here in one of these free calls. So I just wanted to introduce myself and then follow up with a quick question. So first and foremost, my name is Alan. I also graduated from the University of Texas. And fun fact, I had the pleasure of taking Dr. Buss and Cindy Meston's course when I was there. So that's what kind of got me. That's what kind of got me into the RP, things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my question, by day, I'm a salesman. I sell business insurance. And then after work, what I focus on is building an online beat store. I'm a music producer. And my question was, how can I leverage what you teach in your course? Or how could anyone in the music industry leverage what you teach in your course to scale their business and grow it eventually?
So tell me what maybe not the end goal, but like the mid-level success for you with this beats business looks like. What does it look like?
Yeah, so right now what I'm doing is I have my own website and whatnot. I sell beats online all over the world. Essentially what I was thinking is to build a network in different cities, even possibly connecting with other people in this program, and then leveraging that to bring people to certain events. So maybe a new up and coming artist, maybe I'm not in that city, but someone in the MOA can bring maybe some people to the event or venue, and eventually offer that as a service as well, just kind of like a people connector in the music industry, which is super important. So along with my offering and my music, eventually just offer my relationships. Does that make sense?
Alan, you just answered your own question. That's exactly right. That's what I was going to tell you. Are you in the program now?
I am not. No.
Okay. All right. Well, so the thing, that's exactly what I was going to tell you. So the thing you need to be, the things that you as a man have that are for free, that don't require you to be 6'5", handsome, or rich, are connector, suggester, content creator. You can be the connector for you, because you want to do this in the music industry. Like, again, Sean Puffy Combs was a party promoter before he started Bad Boy Records. If you go see when what's his face 50 Cent, you know, he was selling crack in like Queens. When his first album was coming out, you know, he asked for an A&R. He asked actually to work in A&R so that he could learn the skill set so that eventually he could run his own agency, right? So he was later on used that skill set in order to connect people and to network. That's why, again, you see all these other rappers that came on the scene, but you see Juicy J brought Wiz Khalifa on the scene, or Dr. Dre brought Eminem on the scene. You see this kind of like one guy bringing another. Who was it? Bieber. It was Usher. Usher brought Bieber on the scene. Is that correct? I think that was the way it works. But like you see these people bring other people on the scene, right? And why is that? Because they understand the concept of connector, suggester, and content creator. And also they understand, well, why are we going to give Bieber a chance? Well, because Usher vouched for him. So that's what's called social proof. So being the person who connects others to individual. So think of like Euclidean geometry. If A equals B and B equals C, then C equals A. If I introduce high status person A to high status person B, I'm C. High status person A will attribute the same level of status that they see to B, and B will attribute the same level of status to me that they see that A has. Does that make sense? If if nobody knew who I was and I took the UN Secretary General and introduced them to like the Prime Minister of Canada and they'd never met each other, I'd be like, hey, you guys should talk to each other, whatever. Both of them, even if they don't know me, are going to think, I don't know who this guy is, but he must be important. Do you understand?
Yeah.
A smaller level would be like, for me, a nightlife director and a Playboy playmate who's trying to get a job at nightlife. That would be, I've done that before. And the two of them start thinking, I must be important if the two of them are being introduced to each other by me. So yes, the connector is a really big one. The suggester, so like telling people where to go, what to listen to, books to buy, ways to educate themselves. That's not as relevant for your field, but the content creator is going to be the big one. You being able to create content, showing social proof, but also because of the way that Instagram works now, the way you can put beats on all of your stuff. What's the guy's name? Baddies Only. You guys know Baddies Only, the Colombian dude who's always with the hot girls, whatever. Baddies Only, he's got his music produced. Like you can actually listen to his music on Instagram. You can use 15-minute clips of his music on IG. I don't know if you guys know this. That would be something I would do, man. I would be like, how can I get my music produced in some places like that? That's what I would do in order to connect with other people. But the other thing is, I'm going to tell you this, man. It's going to be the same 100 years from now, and it was the same 100 years ago. If you throw events and it's 4-to-1 girls to guys, everyone will come. Every dude that you're trying to invite will show up. It's just how it is. And the reality is, like, if you go to Los Angeles, there's guys who get invited to parties you're not allowed to go to. And if you go to those parties, that's what it looks like. And if you go to a party and Drake is there, there's going to be 7 girls to every guy. That's just how it is. So you have to make up your mind. Like that's the other facet of this program that we teach. It's just the way it is, man. Bro, it's just the way it is. So does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's all those things. Connector, suggester, content creator, work on a ratio when you build those events and be the one who's connecting people, always connecting people to each other. I'm not even talking about your beats because I don't know. I'm sure they're great, but I don't know. Right. Yep. And then also, like I said before, I would consistently use social media. But like I don't know the process to get things produced on there or get things posted on social media. But you see all these girls, they'll have like filters. They'll have their own filters on Instagram. You can have your own beats put in the music section on IG. That's something I would try to do.
Got it. Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you, Michael.
Love it. John D, what's your question? John, go ahead and start speaking.
Yep. So I have a question about keeping groups of girls engaged or entertained in like a group conversation. So for example, recently I was at a party, and at one point in the party, I was on the balcony with like 7 girls and the rest of the party was inside. And what I found was it was very difficult to have all the girls engaged and actively participating in the conversation. And it kind of fell apart. Right? The conversation didn't go anywhere. It was a little bit boring. You know, everybody was nice and kind of making small talk, but it really didn't go anywhere. And I do know that you do teach about like treat them all the same, make them talk about themselves, break a rapport through comedy status, value arbitrage, pre-selection and disqualification. So for example, talk about themselves. People ended up just talking about where they're from, what they do, and it kind of didn't go anywhere interesting from there. Or comedy, I think making like 7 girls laugh, I think would be difficult for almost anybody. So I was wondering how you like to approach these situations where you're a guy with, 6, 7 girls, and you want to have everybody engaged and entertained and talking to one another and having a great time.
So this is not going to be the answer you want to hear, but the fact that they were bored is your fault, dude. That never happens to me. You guys will see, I have an interview coming up with Nicolette Shea that comes out on Wednesday. And if you guys know Nicolette is not like the most loquacious individual in the world. She's an adult actress. But the thing is, it's my job to make it interesting. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
This was my birthday on Thursday. It's my job for people to be entertained. If it's boring, it's my fault that it's boring. It's not anyone else's fault that it's boring. I need to step my game up so that this isn't an issue. Do you understand?
Yes.
And so how do you do it? So look, watch this. Look, what is one way that I can just like get everyone to focus on what I'm doing? How about this, dude? Watch. What am I saying, dude?
You're offering content creator value and having everybody.
I'm not even saying words, dude. Am I saying any words? What am I doing? We talked about this before. By the way, guys, this was Thursday. This isn't like some old video from whatever. This is like a regular week in my life. What am I doing to make them? They don't look bored to me. Why is that?
You're offering content creator value, and you're kind of having everybody engage with the camera, and yeah.
I say nothing, and it's just ID. You're exactly right. Like, if you're having trouble with this, first off, you definitely need to be in the program. But number two, you're making this way too complicated. I make people go into interesting conversations about themselves. So like, I was having dinner at Bilzerian's house like 2 weeks ago. And one of the things he talked to me about was, and I disagree, like, I don't feel exactly the same way he does, but he's like, I don't have any, he's like, I'm 142 years old. I don't have anything in common with a 22-year-old girl. I really don't. There's not much for us to talk about, except one thing. When she talks about crazy things she's done dating wise, I want to hear that. Like when she's dating a dude and then sleeps with the guy's father, she's like, he's like, I love those stories are hilarious. I want to hear those stories. So like the chaos, the craziness like that, if you can't, like if you're having trouble with this, I'm going to give you the easiest possible solution. Ready? Mm-hmm. Ready? It's like step by step. Ready?
Yep.
Watch me on Access Vegas. I entertain 10 girls at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Is that not true?
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm going to check it out.
Literally entertaining 10 girls at one time on that show. There's no excuse. There's like, if you guys are having trouble with topics, I'm giving the game away. Just ask the questions that Rollo and I ask on that show, and you will have interesting conversations with women. You will get them to talk about themselves. If that's all you do, if you do nothing else but that, you will get that to work for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. And that's a great idea. And I do plan to join the program. I'm just trying to get some reference experiences now and get a foundation, build my Instagram, and then like be at a point where I have a good foundation to be successful early on. So that's kind of my point about that. And then the second question I have, just in terms of like when you're meeting girls at a club and you're getting their Instagrams, what's a good balance between getting a lot of Instagrams? So when you invite them to a second event afterwards, like in another day, for them to like show up, a decent amount to show up, and also making sure they actually remember you. So like if you get 5 Instagrams in a weekend and you invite those 5 girls to an event, maybe 1 would show up. But if you do this like over the course of a few weekends and you get maybe 20 Instagrams, some of them might not remember you, but you do have more Instagrams. So what's like the approach that you like to take for that?
Well, I just see Alex right here. Alex Adnan, will you just answer this question? Why he's like, why would they remember him? What do we do that makes? In fact, I probably let Kate answer this question at this point. Why would they remember us, Alex? Why do they remember us?
I zoomed out. I didn't get the question. Can you repeat the question, please?
Did we lose you?
The question is, why do they remember us? Like if, you meet somebody, I guess Michael is referring perhaps to like the fact that you created content, that you were a content creator. That would be probably what I would assume, but I'd love to hear the answer.
I mean, the value that you're giving them, all the value, all the content, the experience that you're giving them, you're definitely treating them differently than like all the creepy guys that they used to be approached by.
Hey guys, why do they remember us, guys? Why do they remember us? Like, again, you're like, oh, if I get too many Instagrams, they won't remember us. No, that's because your Instagram is garbage. That's why they don't remember you, dude. What's the first step in MOA? Is the first step to build a list? Is the first step to throw a photo shoot? Is the first step to make money from photo shoots? What's the first step in MOA, guys?
Fix your fucking Instagram.
There you go. So that's the reason why they don't forget you. Okay.
So then like, it's totally fine if you invite them to an event like a month later, as long as you have a good Instagram, you're like posting stories and they like, you're fresh in their mind, essentially. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yes. The vast majority of the invite. So I'm going to that black tape party, the mansion party of the 13th. I think we've probably invited 2,000 girls to that. We may get like 200 to show up. The vast majority of them are like, thank you, but no, I can't make it. And so I have open threads with them. That's all that matters. And the reason why they're saying, even responding, is because they go to my IG and they see their friends are following or their friends are in my content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's no upper limit to how many you can get or how long it's been. I have girls come to my events I met 8 years ago.
Wow.
Guys, I'm gonna try to see if I can explain this to you, because this is like this is a terrible example, but I need you to understand this example. Okay, it's terrible in that it's like not moral. It's an immoral example, but it illustrates what I'm trying to say. There's a Wolf of Wall Street, right? Like I'll give a couple examples. There's a guy here in Vegas who's, he was charged with like 33 felonies, got off on a technicality. Nobody was fucking with this guy. Then he had Jake Paul have a wedding at this guy's house, and all of a sudden everyone started hanging out with him again. Okay. Wolf of Wall Street. He's sitting there. He's committed securities fraud, does 15 months in jail. They make a movie about him. In the movie, he punches his wife in the stomach, then takes his kid while he's high out of his mind and drives off with his kid, putting his kid's life in peril. And we celebrate him. They're gonna have to get a wrecking ball to get me out of here. I'm not fucking leaving. We love him so much. Okay, right? The reason why I bring this up, I don't know if you guys know this, the Tinder swindler is teaching a course now. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, not me. If you cross me, you're out of my life. I don't want anything to do with you. If you're dishonest, I want nothing to do with you. But for the rest of the world, if you're just popular, people forgive anything. They forgive anything. They just do. I mean, hey, you guys remember that thing where like there were people like that needed shelter in Houston, and Joel Osteen just like closed down the Astrodome to them and wouldn't let them come in, or whatever, the summit, wherever he was. But no one cares because he's popular. He just gets away with whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Logan Paul, this whole crypto zoo thing, people will forget about in a couple, because he's popular. It's a really sad state of affairs on how humans work. But I'm just going to tell you, like, some of you worry about like what these girls think. If you just show signs of high status, I'm telling you right now, I have a guest coming on my podcast. I won't say when, but she actually was complaining to people about me and Men of Action, to people openly. And now she's got 4 million followers, and she literally just asked to come on my podcast. The same girl. Now I'm going to have her on because she's got a huge following. And I truly think she was misunderstanding what I was doing. But the reason why she's asking to come on, why is that? Is it because I begged her? No, it's because I just did better. I just kind of ignored the criticism and just said, fuck it, and just improved my life. And then they want to join. It's like, it's on one hand, it's like this easy solution to your problems. But on the other hand, it really makes you feel like the human species is in a really sad state, that you can just pull something like that off. It really does. It'll make you will lose faith in humanity when you start seeing how, when you just have a little bit of popularity, how everyone just forgives everything someone's ever done. There are women right now making TikTok videos with OJ Simpson. Tell me I'm wrong. I talked to OJ Simpson at a party the other day, and he straight up told me he got offered millions of dollars to do a fantasy football podcast. Because he's popular. He's famous. That's how it works. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I mean, it probably is. In most cases, it probably is bad. But, you know, if you're popular and you have money, you get away with stuff. And that's just the way it works. Hey, guys, do you guys remember? Can you put real quick in the chat all the names of all the bankers who went to jail after the 2008 housing crisis? Put the name of them real quick in the chat. Oh, you got them. That's it. That's all of them. No one went to jail after putting our entire economy at peril. No one went to jail because all of them were worth hundreds of millions of dollars. If you haven't figured this out yet, this is not a conspiracy. This is how the world works. So use it in your favor or complain about it while you masturbate playing GTA 5. Figure it out. All right. Got it. Okay, beautiful. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Beautiful. Cade, what's your question, brother? Hold on. Cade, unmute yourself.
Hey, Michael. First, I want to say happy belated birthday.
Thank you, man.
It looked like it was fun. My first question was, during high school, what do you recommend for me? More of throwing the events and trying to maximize my experience with women, or focusing on like stacking savings?
Yeah, I would savings. But Cade, I am not going to recommend you spend any time worried about women right now. Like, let's wait till you're at least 17, 18 years old, bro. Like, it's just like, let it go. Like, what I would do is experiment with the concept of like status for sure, and notice certain things. Like the quarterback of the football team dates the prettiest cheerleader. That's just the way it is, right? It's just always, and they always think it's like fate and destiny. No, the prettiest girl dates the most popular dude, and that's just the way it is in high school, right? It's like this microcosm of evolutionary psychology. Like, witness those things, man. But like, you got plenty of time, Cade. If I could switch places with you, I would have focused way more on like, how do I start flipping my first home, get involved in like, listed equities, et cetera, stuff like that. That's what I would do.
And then the other part of that question is, what things do you recommend for me to do to make money at this time? I get a car in like 6 months, but right now I'm just doing like a part-time job and a couple little side hustles. So,
how old are you right now?
15 and a half.
I mean, other than like a paper route, bro, I don't know what you can do, because I don't think like Uber Eats and stuff like that, they're not going to let you. When you're 16, can you drive Uber Eats? Does anybody know?
I don't think so. I think I've looked into it before. It's just like,
hey man, so Cade, the reason why the world is like this, or at least this is, purported this, the reason why is because the world wants you to just get educated right now and experience life, and like not have a bunch of traumas when you're young, having to meet quotas or make a bunch of money. And there are going to be ways for you to hustle and make money. You could definitely do stuff online. Like, that would probably be the best thing. Nobody can stop you from like doing an Amazon FBA just because you're 15 years old. But for the most part, if I were to switch places with you, I would try to get through every single audiobook I could this early in life, so that you're just over prepared for college, if you go to college.
All right. Thank you.
Love it. Steven Rosario, what's your question, man? Hold on, Steven, and unmute yourself.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Fantastic. Hey, so I've definitely checked out on YouTube, and I've got back into like the animals and stuff. So one, thank you so much. It's an honor to be on the call. And two, today is my birthday. So I'm already getting enough value as it is. But as far as the first 4 steps, how much overlap is there, between so I'm in the process of fixing my Instagram. I literally scrapped everything. I started taking pictures based on, the 20 or 30 profiles there. But how much overlap is there? Like, you cannot go on to step 2 before step 1's done. You can't go on to step 3 before step 2.
Yeah. I think when you're 50% done with step 1, you can start step 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. And then would you
do step 3 at any point?
Yeah, because hold on. So there's your Instagram, there's your list, there's event, because you can look at events anywhere.
You can do step 3 at any point. It just won't work.
Okay, to what degree? Because I'm trying to understand exactly what you mean.
I wish I had a girl on here to explain it to you, but If you guys had any idea how harshly women judge all of you based on your IG, you would literally spend 6 months trying to fix it. If you had any idea how hardcore they go through your shit, see a couple of photos and dismiss you. 80% of women are deemed women deem 80% of men unattractive.
Yeah. It's, what's really kind of refreshing is just like, some people feel some type of way or weird about it because they hear the same shit over and over. But when I watch your videos, and number one, you're super consistent. So when I watch all of the videos, I hear some of the same stats, and so it's kind of cool because I'm not an MOA yet. I'm in the school server. But it's funny because you'll ask questions on the free calls. By the way, I work during this time. I'm a teacher. I teach after school. I have after school rehearsal, so I can never catch the Monday calls. I always watch them after the fact. So this was kind of perfect because I took the day off. But yeah, it's nice being able, because you're like, guys, in the chat, and I'm like, oh shit, like I actually have the answers for some of this stuff, and I'm not even in MOA yet. So but yeah, anyway, I just wanted to see like how much overlap there was before it's like you absolutely cannot do this step before you're done with this. You can't do this one before you do this.
They're just guidelines, but I'm going to tell you, if your IG makes you look like a child molester, you're not going to you're going to message the girls you want. They're not going to respond.
Right. I can tell you, I've seen, as far as like, not because I'm not successful at all in Social Circle, obviously that's why I'm here, but to the degree of like just changing some of the pictures out and following some of the guidelines. I even, I did a free consultation with Corey. Well, like just the free like audit, the quick audit, but I've already seen like more attention in the positive direction just by briefly. I mean, take a picture that looks like this, like go to this place, look like you have access. And it's crazy just how instantaneously it's like, there you go.
Yeah.
Like you look like somebody.
Your competency and relevancy. Corey uses different words than I do, but Corey, if you look at all his content, he looks relevant and competent, and he has access. In his case, is his scarce resources, his creativity with his photography and his media creation and his ability to travel. That's his, and also he happens to be really good looking. Like those things are his scarce resources. You understand? And so him showing those things are like why he does so well when he does that. My scarce resources, like I'm around a lot of women, and that's something that a lot of people appreciate. It's currency. Like you got to heard that Andrew Tate clip the other day where he's like, the real, like you can be sitting there with a Bugatti having a dance floor table, and I'm sitting next to you with my 2 wives who adore me, and I look better than you. I look like I have a better life than you do.
Right. Right.
So he's like the currency is, do women comply with what you're doing, or are you having to pay prostitutes? That's the ultimate currency.
Last thing, I planned on just on my own volition was looking at recently irrelevant, got a travel card, wanted to rack up points, do that whole shit. But I plan on doing Vegas sometime like right before Christmas time. Is there anything going on? I guess I could look at the school calendar and see if there's anything going on, but is there anything kind of around that time? Like
VegasImmersion.io.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
But yeah, you said you're from UT. I'm a University of Houston grad, so we got our hand signed because of you guys hazing us a little while back. But
there we go.
Go Cougs. Anyway, thank you so much, man. This has been awesome.
What did President Kennedy say when he went to
why does UT play Rice? Yeah.
Why does UT play Rice and all those other things? Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Right? That's what he says. And that's why we do the things we do in this program. One of the reasons why we do these events with social media influencers is not because it's easy, but because it's hard. It's harder to keep their attention.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. At least, like I said, I've normally have not been in that scene, but I have identified a few places that are kind of the buzzing places. By the way, I'm here in San Antonio. But yeah, I've kind of identified some of the spots, some of the, that generates a lot of the big buzz. And so I've started making connections and talking with people through social media and stuff like that. Once again, also because I've, scrapped and archived everything and have actually been getting, attention to the good as far as, because now it looks like, and it's not much. I mean, literally it's like 3 pictures.
Okay. But couple things. Number one, you will notice a huge difference. Number 2, someone asked me to look at their IG. No, what happens is you need to go on the free school server, when you go on the free school server, you need to look at the Instagrams that are there. You need to make yours look like one of those 30 Instagrams, similar to that. Then you need someone on the school server to go back and check your IG and give you advice on whether or not it looks good. And then at that point, then I'll look at it. Other than that, there's a 99% chance if I don't know you, your IG looks like crap.
Yeah, and there's so many guys too. If I could add any sort of value at all, there's so many guys in the school servers and like between like Core and everyone that'll do that stuff for free. So like, you know, Monday call, as I've seen through plenty of the YouTube videos, Monday calls is quickly becoming not the place to ask that question.
Yeah, there's 2,000 guys in the free school server right now. More than that.
Yeah.
I have to look. Maybe we're at the 2,200 now. There's 700 guys on the paid side that are doing that real quick. And that's, I mean, our company is less than 2.5 years old. So we've been able to pull that off. Okay. Another guy joining the school server. Okay. I appreciate that. And I'm going to post that one more time in the chat for anybody who's interested in that. That's the free school server right there. Oh, wait, no, that's not correct. Let me see if I can take that down. Delete. Where's it at? Almost. There it is. X. And there it is. There's a free school server. Cool. Beautiful. So
awesome. Thank
did
you.
I answer your question, Stephen? Beautiful.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Casey, what's your question? Casey Dart.
Hey, what's happening, Michael? Good to see you again.
What's going on, man?
Happy belated birthday.
I appreciate it. Hey, Casey, you might want to not use your Bluetooth. You're getting a real muffled sound. If you could disconnect your Bluetooth and just use your inboard microphone on your phone, it'd be way better.
There we go. Is that better?
Much better.
Cool. Yeah, this thing is not great. So my question is about fixing my Instagram. I want to check out the IGs on the school server. I've checked out some of them, but basically I want to see if the things that you teach will work to help me with my business, because I only use social media for the business, nothing else. And my niche is very specific to older women who are pre-peri and post-menopause. And so just my question is, what can I do to improve my Instagram using some of these strategies so that it will help with my marketing? Or because everything that I'm doing right now is mainly on Facebook, because that's where most of my clients are on.
I was about to say the same thing. Yes. I mean, menopausal or near menopausal women are going to be more on Facebook than they are on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
but I know that there's
Instagram testimonials for those of you who are looking for them. Go ahead.
But I know that there's still a way to leverage Instagram to at least promote the business or get some traction there as well. Because I have the podcast that I'm doing on YouTube, and then doing shorts and reels. But just what can I do to show, competency and relevancy in terms of what I'm doing?
Okay, so the thing is, this is an area of business I'm not super familiar with, is like marketing to, premenopausal women. It doesn't seem like a super sexy market to be in. It's probably very profitable though. What I would tell you is showing some level of expertise, probably having female influencers who've gone through the transition, talking about certain things, putting those clips on your Instagram as far as reels, shorts, TikToks, and Snapchat videos. You could even put them on Twitter. And then I would also put them on Facebook. I would do that repeatedly. I would bounce all that content in different places. I would also look at your competitors and see what kind of content that they're doing right now that is going viral. I'll bet you there's some premenopausal clips on TikTok that go viral. I'm guarantee you there's something.
Okay. And then just copy those.
Yeah, but your audience is going to be heavy on Facebook. Like I'm not going to. I just don't know a lot of girls who who are premenopausal on Instagram. But I'm sure they're 10 years from now. I'll change my tune.
Yeah. Okay.
Zach says they love complaining to management. That's hilarious. Just look up the term Karen and then sell to them, and you'll be richer than fuck, bro. Mark Munier. Mark, what's your question?
Is it possible to make money in retail? Because I'm running up against where I am in California. There's a lot of wage fixing going on for applying for assistant manager jobs and so on. Now I'm ready to do that. Everything is only a $2 raise. And about this, there's not much increase in hours, etc.
So I think I understand what you're asking me. You're asking me, can you make money as retail as an employee or owning a retail spot?
As an employee.
Okay, so one of the things is, there's a couple things there. Number one, I usually encourage entrepreneurship. And so working in retail as a 9 to 5, probably, there you go. BMO is not incorrect. That's another job where you can make a fucking ton of money with not a ton of work. If you're comfortable becoming a phlebotomist, 100% is a good gig. Becoming any kind of nurse or any kind of medical field is another great way to make money. But like I said before, Mark, ask yourself this question. Is your assistant manager job making more than you could driving Uber?
Right now I'm making less than that. I get about $1,200 a month. Only in my hours are limited. They only give me like 15 hours a week in my current job now. So that's amazing. I'm just trying to move into a job that has more hours.
You just spend the rest of your time trying to steal everyone's girlfriend? Is that what's going on?
No.
My bad, dude. I'm fucking with you. Mark, so no, if Uber pays more, they give you unlimited hours. So why don't you just do that?
Because I don't want to run. I don't want to put miles on my car for not enough return. Is what I think. I think there's I think that you actually losing money doing that because you'll have to buy a new car earlier.
Uber allows rental options for limited car owners. Yeah, they do. There's Mark. If there's this many people driving Uber, there's a solution.
Yeah,
my girlfriend does this sometimes where she just comes into something like that doesn't make sense, and there has to be a solution because it's a multi-billion-dollar company. If you ever feel like that doesn't make sense, I promise you, there's a solution. There has to be a solution. If it was as simple as I put miles on my car and I end up losing money, no one would drive for Uber, dude. Yeah, Anthony's saying those delivery tips are awesome. Get in a good neighborhood. I did that before I got my CDL, and he made a ton. Anthony did that. Anthony Fernandez. Okay, Mark.
Okay, thanks,
guys. The thing about the Uber job is especially with Uber Eats, it's such a when I say replacement level job, Uber Eats is replacement level job. Meaning if you don't make as much money as you do Uber Eats, the reason why I'm saying that is because it doesn't matter how ugly you are, what your car smells like. None of that shit matters. You're delivering food. Okay. You knock on the door and then you leave. The guys are just now, they ask for the fucking PIN or whatever. But other than that, you have no contact with the customers whatsoever. And you can just, it's like being what the ultimate pilot job people want more than anything is to fly for FedEx instead of Delta. With Delta, you got to deal with passengers. With FedEx, the fucking packages don't complain. Right. So that's if you ask the guys when they get out of the Air Force, the ultimate job is FedEx or UPS. That's the ultimate job. That's who they want to fly for. So that's the same kind of situation here. If you aren't making enough money as you would from Instacart and Uber Eats, you need to quit your job because Instacart and Uber Eats additionally allow you to get educated while you're driving. I'm always going to say that's replacement level. You guys know wins against replacement's a statistic in football. So basically when Tom Brady went from the Patriots to the Buccaneers, it wasn't Tom Brady versus zero. It was Tom Brady versus a replacement level quarterback. How much better was he? It turns out he was tremendously better because he won the Super Bowl. And the next year he led the league in passing. So wins against replacement is a really important stat, and Pro Football Focus uses it. So the replacement. So you're saying how good is your left tackle? How good is your left tackle versus a replacement level left tackle, an average left tackle, versus the 32nd best left tackle in the NFL, right? How good is he? And the reality is the replacement level job right now is Uber Eats. Does that make sense? It's a job that you got a replacement level job to me. Club promoter is below replacement level job because they don't pay you very much. But Uber Eats is the replacement level job. It just requires, you don't need a high school education to have that job. And you can just work hard and make not maybe a lot of money, but you can make decent money doing it. You can feed a family doing that if you're willing to work the hours. And you start learning the strategy to where, like, if I can get that triple money whenever, it's almost like playing Grand Theft Auto. You get the triple money on Friday night when everybody's like ordering cabs from the bar all at the same time, that kind of thing. That's why Uber is just so, like, it's such a great way to make money. Okay. So if you have a job where you are not making as much money as you would as an Uber driver, quit your job. Unless there's some specific, like you're an apprentice working for a photographer and you're trying to become a photographer, unless you're doing something specifically like that, leave your job and go drive Uber. And then when you drive Uber, educate yourself. Go through those books in the book list, okay? I see Instacart people all the time at my job. Okay, well, Mark, then you need to become the Instacart guy. Yeah, Anthony's saying a great thing. So Anthony has a commercial driver's license. So Anthony's a truck driver. He says, just do something where you can always do it and take YouTube and Audible MOA. This is more important than you think. Yeah, don't let your friends and family convince you otherwise. Exactly right. Totally agree. Guys, I'm just telling you, I cannot express this enough. Your ability to continue education while at the same time you're doing your job is an incredible, incredible, incredible advantage that most people have. Do not take that for granted. Okay. Never take that for granted. Let me see here, guys. Sorry. Let me make sure I got this going. I don't want to skip the super chat. So let me see if I can, any guys in, did I get these? Here we go. I got a super chat. Let me read this real quick. I want to make sure I didn't miss any. James Bushy, what did Michael learn about women in debating Lana, Jamie Lynn? Seems like women are self-incentivized to not let evolutionary psychology or hypergamy studies. It's not just women though. So that's a great point. So if you guys want to check it out, I did, and it wasn't, I mean, it ended up being kind of a debate. If you guys look up Pink Pill Podcast, I went on there with my friend Jamie Lynn. She's a marriage and family therapist. But whenever I bring up statistics that don't agree with her narrative, she quickly says, well, those statistics don't mean everything. And then Lana, she does the same thing. She was the producer. And the problem is they didn't provide any counter evidence to anything I was saying. And then I'm watching their, reactions on YouTube, and it's not very positive. And then a couple of guys are like piling in on them, but it's like, well, so one of the things I'll just tell you guys right now, there's evidence of a correlation between the number of men a woman has slept with before she gets married and the likelihood of her getting divorced or cheating. It's very clear. Now, is the correlation 90%, 80%, or 70%? That's debatable. You could do more studies. Now, here's the problem. Who of you think that a university, put a 1 in the chat if you think universities are trying to do studies where we all know what the answer is going to be, that as women sleep with more men, they're more likely to get divorced. And who here thinks that the universities, put a 2 in the chat, are controlled by a woke narrative that if they ever produced a study showing that women are more likely to cheat the more bodies they had, they would lose funding? Who here knows the answer to this one? Okay. So because of that, there's not a ton of studies on this, but all of the studies conclusively show, the 3 studies that I know of conclusively show that as a woman has a higher body count, she's more likely to cheat on you. Intuitively, we kind of know this to be the case, right? Intuitively, we kind of all know this is the case. I said that. I had a buddy of mine who's like getting married who legitimately told me this is bullshit. This is not true, even though David Buss wrote it down. And my whole thing is like, he didn't just write it down. It's a study that he did that shows this. And it's just incredible to me, like the level of cope that people have. So let's just say it's not a 90% correlation. It's a 70% correlation. If you don't agree with that, then show me some study that shows the opposite. Because I guarantee you right now, if there was a study that showed that as women have more sexual partners, there's zero correlation with them cheating in a relationship, and you publish that study, you would instantly win the Nobel Prize in psychology. Instantly. There wouldn't even be a judgment. You would instantly win the Nobel Prize in psychology the millisecond you produce a study that stated that. But they can't because it's not true. Yeah, all the studies on dark triad of personality with women on dating apps come from the same university out of Turkey. No one will touch it. Yeah. Yeah, you will win a Nobel. If you could just come up with a study showing that, yeah, it's $1 million. They'll give you a Nobel Prize. If you actually had a study that showed that, you would win a Nobel Prize. I'm telling you right now. But of course, there's no way. So because the academics know the answer to this question, they're just not going to study it. Cool. Awesome. Does that answer your question? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We were talking the guy, Jake Bushy. I still love Jamie and I love Lana. They're my friends. They're just wrong. But the problem is, like, I don't want to pile on, because I was reading the comments and people are already piling on. Listen, I didn't learn anything. I was fully aware that what was going to happen. There's no way they could agree with me on my concepts, because if they did, then there was going to be an issue. Also, Jamie Lynn tried to make this argument that, like, there's all these women in Las Vegas who are taking care of their men because they're making more money as a cocktail server. And it's because she didn't understand what hypergamy meant. She thought hypergamy only meant money. Hypergamy also means dating the better looking guy. Like, it's just always trying to trade up. That's what hypergamy means. She didn't understand that concept. And then also, like, when we go back to statistics, there's maybe, like, of all the nightclubs here where the girls are making 200K or more, there's maybe 100 girls in the whole city making that much money. No, that's not true. Let's just say there's 40 girls at the top 5 nightclubs. Let's just say there's 200 nighttime girls and 200 daytime girls in the whole city that are making that money. That's not statistically viable. Just because there's some girls on OF that are making a bunch of money and they're taking care of their deadbeat boyfriends are still also really good looking. Like, that's still hypergamy. So she wasn't correct in that point as well. But, like, the problem is, like, I love Jamie. I want her podcast to do well. Her audience isn't going to buy my program, so I don't really care about. I'm not going to bash her, and I genuinely, like, enjoy her company, and she's a good friend. So I'm not going to try to, like, blow her up. But no, I don't agree with what she's saying. And, like, the problem is, I'll give her all the time in the world. She's not going to be able to counter anything I'm saying. So that's the problem. One of the issues why people have such a big problem with me is because when I say, hey, social circle game works better than cold approach, and then I show videos proving what I'm saying is true, it's just so hurtful to them, because, like, they're like, I'm starting from a based place. Does that make sense? When I say, when I go over stats about evolutionary psychology, like, humans are hairless murder apes and we only pay attention to people's status. I say that I start with the studies first and then I state my opinion. It's very hard to argue with me, but you're ready to argue with me because you don't like, your narrative doesn't fit with mine. So you're actually, like, you get more personal and your arguments are more violent because you can't have, like, a based conversation, because I already took that space. I took the space of doing the research beforehand. And so now I state my opinion. What are you going to do? Like, where are you going to go with this at that point? Now you're just arguing from feelings. So let's just go totally into feelings. And once you do that, now it's facts versus feelings. And that's where you get into the whole idea of, like, again, I was listening to a heterosexual man actually express on my Instagram that there's no correlation between women having previous sexual partners and them cheating. And I was just like, that's not true. That's not true. It's just crazy. Awesome. Let's get to the next question. This is going to be Alex Adnan. Alex, what's your question?
Hey Mike, what's going on? I have a few quick questions. Basically, like, I don't know, a little bit advanced, I guess. So for the first date, you said, like, you don't recommend setting up the first date at your house, but, like, my concern is in terms of times and, like, doing the reservation and leaving and, like, going back and forth.
I'm confused. I said what?
Like, setting up the first date with a girl that, like, you talk to online. I mean, I'm just trying to interpret it. Like, my question is basically, do you think it's a bad idea or
I don't
like a gray area?
Yeah, I absolutely recommend, if you're attracted to a girl, on the first date, you want her to come back to your place in the beginning before you go out on the date. I do want her coming back. Absolutely.
No, not that. I mean, like, meeting her in your house. Not going out to a restaurant.
Having her come meet you at your house is that is prime 10 out of 10 what you want. You want to come and just touch base, see your place, feel comfortable, go to dinner, and then feel comfortable coming back. 100% I want them coming to your place. I've never said anything different. I'm confused.
Yeah, well, my question is, how about, like, actually spending the whole date in your house?
Oh, that's fine. I mean, if she's comfortable with doing that, like, if you can get compliance, then like, again, if Drake is talking to a girl and is like, hey, do you want to go to dinner and then date and then maybe see a show? The girls can be like, yeah, Drake, of course I'll do it. But if Drake also went, do you want to just suck my cock right here in this, like, room in front of other people? She'd be like, yes. Like, what level of compliance can you get, Alex? If you can get a girl who's just going to spend the whole day at your fucking apartment and not have you take her on a date, then I guess the answer is yes, then do that. It's almost like saying, I was going to sell a guy on a 10K program, but he was down to do a 30K program. Then I'm just going to sell him the 30K program, dude. Like, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
If they're going to give you enough compliance to spend the whole day at your house, then that's an incredibly good sign.
No, the thing that like with some girls, like you talk about the bleach and stuff. It might be a girl that like she's very like she takes a decision and then she regrets it. So then you get like the buyer's
If she's
remorse,
spending the
like
whole
speeding
day
up.
with you, if she's spending the whole day with you, I wouldn't worry too much about that. One. And number two, do you have your Nest camera? Where's your Nest camera? Your Nest camera is going to show her showing up with a smile on her face and then leaving of her own volition, happy. Is what your camera that you have in your apartment that shows that you guys sitting. Maybe I might not have one in my bedroom just because you don't want to like people to think, oh man, what's going on? You could have one in the bedroom. I know Bilzerian does. Bilzerian has one in his bedroom just because girls, in case somebody wants to accuse him of EPAR, he doesn't want that to go down. So he'll have one there. And if you have you have the legal right to have one in your bedroom, you just can't share whatever content's on there. But the thing is with the whole thing, like her sitting in your living room, if she's like, oh, he did this and this to me, and then you can just show the judge like she's lying. I think you should be able to sue people for that. I'm serious. If someone's going to defame you like that, and then all of a sudden you can show that they're totally lying, like that Nikki Hill situation with the Trevor Bauer situation, Nikki Hill should do jail time for what she did. He missed 359 MLB games because of this woman's lie. So my advice to you is cameras. They're cheap now. They're super cheap. They're so cheap, bro. Cameras.
Okay, so now in terms of
I would not put them in the bathroom. That's super creepy. But like the main areas, the kitchen, the living room, the den should have a camera. And maybe the bedroom. Okay.
Got you. I think what helps also, like what I've heard is texting. Like after she leaves you, like just say like, hey, we had a lot. Did you have a good
so that's
time?
another
Did
thing.
you have fun?
Yeah. So the first time I ever heard this was on the show Billions. So what's his name? Axelrod. What's the main character's name? Anybody can type it in the chat. Something Axe Capital, Axel something. I forgot what his name was. Bobby Axelrod. Bobby Axelrod, he's going on a date with some Swedish model or whatever, and his attorney is standing next to him, and his attorney goes, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go on a date. You're going to do whatever you do. And at the end of the date, no matter what happens, and even if you don't intend on ever seeing her again, you're going to text her that you had a great time and let's set up another meeting and let's set up another date. And when she responds that she had a great time, you are in the clear forever. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So again, highly recommend that if something happens and by some random means you end up having a fucking, Bible study on the first date, I would very, very highly recommend that you guys afterwards text her, hey, it was terrific hanging out with you. Love your energy. Hope to see you again. And as soon as she responds in the affirmative, you're good. You're not going to get screenshot that. Make sure somebody comes after you later. It sounds like I don't trust women. I've never had one of these issues happen to me ever. I've just heard horror stories. And the other thing is like, this is going to sound really bad, but like a lot of guys creep out women because they're uncalibrated or they suffer from ASD and they just don't know that they have the problem. And I don't have that. At least I don't think I have that problem. I have a pretty amazing girlfriend. But like a lot of guys do, and they just don't like, it's like they didn't do anything like physically weird. They just come off as creepy and the girl just has a weird vibe about it. They just have a weird energy. Ali, one more time. If you want to ask me a question, Ali Scoffs, you have to go down to the bottom where it says reaction, and then you have to put raise hand. That's how it works, okay? Ali? Make sense, Alex?
Yep. Okay, a couple more questions.
Yeah.
What would you say the minimum time that you'd recommend to stay in a in a specific country? Because I travel a lot. So I thought like it would be 6 months. Do you think that's like a decent amount of time to build this social
it depends on the country. 6 months during the summer in Norway, I think I could do that. That'd be fun. 6 months in the winter in Norway, you can miss me with that shit, right? 6 months in the winter in Miami, I could do that for sure. And 10 years, anytime in Las Vegas, I can do that. I can do that all day. Summertime in Dallas, you can miss me with that shit. It's just like I don't. How long do you need to make up a social circle? 4 months is good. 3 months is good. I've seen 2 months. Alex De Beers I'm sorry, De Beers. What's Leonard De Beer? When he was staying with me, 2 months, dude. He's doing comps every week when he was living with me. 2 months, huge social circle.
Gotcha. All right, my last question is, do you think it's a bad idea to sleep with your female champions?
Your female, no, it's not. It's not good or bad. It's a bad idea to snitch on them or to brag about it.
Okay. Even if they're like very connected.
I tell you what it is, Alex. It's a bad idea to have bad sex with them. That's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea to have sex with anybody.
Even if they're your female friends and you have really good sex with them, it's not a bad idea. Just don't snitch on yourself. No one needs to know about it.
Even if like they're very connected, they're buddies.
Uh-huh. Sorry. Yeah, I don't, it doesn't, like, if you had like really good sex to where she's bragging about you, it's not bad. I don't care if you're friends or not.
Okay, cool. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Cool. James, what's your question? And unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yep.
First of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
No problem there, sir. My question is, how do you train social calibration? Since it seems like a very important thing, I want to know how to first self-assess one's own personal social calibration and then how to improve it.
Yeah, so I think it's repetition. I could definitely tell you I was less calibrated previously than I am now, and the difference is repetition. If you were going to ask me for the one thing that would indicate the calibration, that would be it. It's just like and the other thing I will tell you is empathy actually helps a lot. Like, I think girls like hanging out with me because I don't try to take advantage of them, and I do things where like they would appreciate it and enjoy it. Does that make sense? I don't think that I am a woman, and I don't change my behavior to like feminine behavior. Actually, we should go over this concept because I think it's a really important concept to go over. Just because
before you go into it very deeply, are you talking about repetition with interacting with either female teammates, people at high status parties, stuff like that? Just anyone, or women in particular, men in particular?
So everyone, but women are high, but attractive women are more important. So this is me like walking out with my girlfriend, and you see everybody like, again, why would I didn't pay anyone to be at this. Why would I get this level of compliance where all these girls would show up and as dressed as Barbie? Do you see what I'm saying? Just for me. Why would that happen? Well, the reason why it would happen is because like they felt comfortable or they saw qualities in me that made them trust me and want to hang out with me. And a lot of those qualities, now here's where the problem happens. If I was the gay club promoter, I could still get a bunch of girls to show up like that, right? Like, and I mean literally gay. I don't mean like figuratively gay. I mean literally homosexual club promoter. They could do the same thing. The difference with me, though, is I set boundaries and I maintain masculinity. Guys, I need you to listen to me. This is probably going to be the most important thing that you guys who are watching on YouTube and those of you who are watching on Zoom hear this entire thing, okay? Just because someone is my friend doesn't mean I'm nice to them. I'm cordial to them. I definitely do them favors, but I don't change the pitch of my voice. I'm like, hey, James, good to see you. James, you want to be my buddy? Can we be buddies, James? I don't okay, ready? When you're nice to someone who doesn't do anything to deserve it, you are supplicating. Supplication starts with an S. What other word starts with an S, guys?
Simp.
Simping.
You're a simp. When you're nice to people for no reason, you're a simp. This is men or women, but most of the time it's men being nice to women because of their boobies and their booty and their pretty green eyes. I'm not nice to women because they're pretty, ever. My girlfriend, I come home and she's got me food and has cleaned my whole apartment. I'm nice as shit to her because she does things. I mean, she's also gorgeous, right? I mean, it's a little different. She's my girlfriend, but in general, I'm not nice to people because they're attractive. When women see a man who maintains his frame, even though she's very physically attractive, she immediately becomes intrigued, sees him as higher status, and possibly becomes attracted to him. Okay? You with me, James? When I'm nice to when I hang around a bunch of girls and I'm nice to them for no reason, they're putting me in the friend zone. Me being nice to them for no reason is showing a beta level of intent. It's intent, but it's like indirect intent. Like I'm afraid to show my intent. Me maintaining masculine boundaries and still doing things that trigger attraction in women muscularity, the way I walk, the way I dress, voice inflection doesn't change. I go up to the hottest girl you've ever seen and I say, "What up, motherfucker?" and then fist bump. They're not expecting that. They're not expecting that. Wait, he did not change his behavior for me. You'll see that on a lot of my podcasts, like with Nicolette, right? A lot of guys you should see when they walk up to Nicolette, they like worship her. And Nicolette, I treat her like she's my friend. Okay. If you watch that, you're going to notice that when I treat them the same, even though they're hot, I'm putting them in the friend zone. When I'm nice to them, when they didn't do anything to deserve it, I'm showing like beta intent. So they're putting me in the friend zone.
Yes.
But if I treat them the same, regardless of their physical attractiveness, I'm putting them in the friend zone. You guys understand? What a huge misunderstanding, because I watch some of you guys who throw photo shoot, followed by photo shoot. And I watch the way the girls interact with you, and they've all put you in the friend zone. They've all put you in. I watch these guys, photographers at some of these destination photo shoots are friend zoned so hard, it's insane. It's insane, James. And you want to know, like, one of the sleaziest, you want to know one of the sleaziest things I ever did is obviously before I was in a relationship.
Sure.
Like, one of the sleaziest things I ever did is I used to go find pickup boot camps where they were. And I would go to those places and I would just talk to girls and just be normal in there, because the girls were just fucking just covered in pickup creepy beta slime the entire time, that when a normal dude walked up to them, they just threw themselves at me.
Quick question on that. Are you talking about cold approach pickup boot camps, or is it just
I would
like
find any kind of cold approach pickup boot camp, especially the big ones, and I would just follow them around like fucking like crows picking up dung from fucking animals. Like they would just leave behind all this crap. Like this, just women, just PTSD. Like, God, that guy just came up. He was so fucking weird. And I'm like, and I would even do that, James. This is how sleazy I was. That would even be my opener. I'm like, I'm just curious. I would walk up to the hottest girl. I'd walk up right to her, James. And I'd be like, I'm just curious. What did that fucking dude say to you? And she'd be like, you'll never believe this. And she'll like literally touch me, James. She'll be like, oh my God, he said the fucking weirdest shit ever. She's like touching me. It's so cool. And I haven't even introduced myself. Yeah, she wants to upload. Right. For those of you who are in MOA, you know the answer to this. When a woman is surrounded by beta, what does she crave so desperately? Write it in the chat. If a woman is surrounded by beta,
I'll leave them to answer.
What does she crave desperately? There you go. They're putting it in the chat. She craves alpha. Okay. When a woman is surrounded by beta, she then craves alpha. And a lot of guys don't recognize that. 1 second here. Cool. Yeah. So the girls don't ever friend zone me. Like they don't, like it's never because I don't have to show intent. People just compete for my attention. And that's why it just never happens. Yeah. She craves MOA. That's funny. Yeah. If a woman is surrounded by beta, she craves alpha. So that's what you do. Right.
Okay. Final question. When it comes to breaking the ice with, let's say, either attractive women or high status people, I know the report, like a rapport seeking tonality is probably like probably a more beta thing to do, and you should probably avoid it. But
yeah, because you're being nice to them for no reason. They don't deserve that. Like again, my voice goes up higher pitch when it's like if I saw, I'm trying to think of someone, like if I saw like my colonel from like the 06 when I was at the 22nd Air Fueling Wing, if he comes up to me, goes, Captain Sartain, I was like, Colonel, what's going on, Colonel? That's a rapport seeking, because I'd be kind of surprised. Or if I saw some of the NCOs, some of the boom operators I flew with, I have so much respect for those guys. You would actually hear my voice break and I would probably go up higher. I'm not going to do that for a woman though. I'm not going to do, no disrespect, but I'm not doing that. There's no woman I'm doing that for. Hey, you guys want to hang out with me later? Hey guys, what you doing? You want to go have a little fun? We're going to go over here and have a drink. You guys want to come with us? Gonna have a little funny fun. You guys want to come hang? What's wrong with your voice,
like you're talking
bitch?
to a child.
What the fuck is wrong with your voice, bitch? What is wrong with you? And I watch guys do this all day long, and they're just like, I don't know what's up, Michael. You know, I did all the things you said, and I put them in the friend zone. No, you haven't. They put you in the friend zone, dude. It's so obvious. And so that's what happens. You just have to make this recognition. It's like, I do not change my frame ever because a woman's attractive, and that's it. That's what you do. I'm not going to, certainly in my 20s and 30s, did I? Hell yes, I did, for sure. But now it's just, I just notice how much more effective it is to never do that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Nice.
Make sense?
Makes sense. Definitely.
All right, let me read these real quick. Art of Violence, also
Sure.
a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate your content. What happened between you and RSD Like? I think it means Luke. He taught a lot of the concepts that you teach. How come you never give him props? There's kind of a misunderstanding about that whole situation. I'll just say this. I'm not going to say anything about that person in particular. What I will say is that no one taught me social circle game at all, ever, anyone. And if anyone says they did, then they should be able to produce some kind of receipt where I bought some social circle product, and I'll pay them $200,000 if you can find any proof that I have ever taken anyone's course on social circle. Number one. And I just want to stay out of this whole situation. Things got acrimonious. Don't ask me, ask someone else. If you want to know what happened in that situation, don't ask me, ask anyone else that worked with RSD or any one of that person's clients, and they will give you a very clear answer. But I'm not gonna comment on that. The other one is Logan is so ignorant to Nina's past thoughts. I don't think he's ignorant to it now, but I think he was ignorant in the beginning. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a guy named Hamza who did a debate with me on yesterday or the day before. And Hamza, he said he's gotten out of the whole pickup community. Now he's giving advice to women. I don't know how profitable that'll be, but I'm very interested in that whole concept. One of the things I tell women, there's two main things that I tell women as far as advice is concerned. The first one is only pay attention to a man's actions. We're not complicated like you. We're not as petty as you. We're not as passive aggressive as you. If we want to have sex with you, we have sex with you. If we want to marry you, we ask you to marry us. If we want you to be our girlfriend, we tell you we want you to be our girlfriend. It's not confusing. When we're mad, we tell you we're mad. And when we're hungry, we eat food. When we want to eat food, we make a decision on where to eat, and we don't sit there like mulling over decisions for hours. We're not like you. We're men. Okay? We're men. So when you come to that realization, if a man does a thing, whatever that first there's no derivative of that thing. Whatever the thing he does, whatever action he takes is telling you 100% with perfect clarity what it is his intentions are. If you ignore the words, but he told me he loved you. Telling you he loves you is a verb. It's not a noun. Like here, I'll give you an example. This is a great way you can see the difference. And a lot of women don't grasp this. They literally think saying I love you is the same thing as loving someone. Okay. Or the feeling of love is the same thing as love. There were people waving American flags back in 1941. Like, yay, America. We love America. And then there was a group and they love their country. I'm genuinely, if you put them in a polygraph, they'd say they love their country. And then there were men who would actually storming the beaches of Normandy, knowing full well they were probably going to die. They weren't waving any fucking flags, though. I know those men love their country. I'm not sure about the flag waving motherfuckers, but those dudes who got off that boat on Normandy to storm those machine gun nests that were populated by Nazis, I know those motherfuckers love their country because they took an action. Love is an action. Love is not just a feeling. Love is not words. Okay? When I explain this to women, they're so caught up, but that's why love bombing is not really effective on men. Because it's like, if you love bomb me, but we never have sex, I know you didn't validate me, so I'm not really going to listen to you. Love bombing doesn't work that well on men. Love bombing works on women because you're giving them a feeling, but you're giving them a feeling without taking any action. So you've totally fooled them. So the first piece of advice I give women is only pay attention to a man's words and just only pay attention to a man's actions and totally ignore his words. Describe to me the situation with your boyfriend. So I have him do it. And I say, okay, now describe it again, but no words. Anything he says to you is thrown out. Anything you said to him is thrown out. And then we describe it. And it's like, yeah, he just never showed up. He always turns his phone off. Like you see him liking other girls' posts. These are all actions. If you take the words out, it's very clear what he's doing. That's the first piece of advice. Second piece of advice I give women is have one platonic male family member or friend who actually does a little bit of research on your behalf when you want to go date a guy, because he's not enamored and he's not being love bombed. If a girl, some girls come to me and they're like, oh, I was dating this narcissist. I didn't know what he was. Guys, if you have female friends, you should be able to do this for them. It's not very hard. Go on Social Blade and see if they bought their followers. See who they're liking on their posts. See who their exes are. You can look up simple stuff, maybe a background check for $5. have that, committed a felony? Are they, committed a sex crime? Like there's very minimal things you can look up that you'd be shocked what a clear story you can get of someone. You can look at their LinkedIn profile and see their like work history. And you can do this all in maybe 25 minutes and then go back to the girl and be like, yeah, so he bought these followers. He got hit up for people are complaining about him. Like, for instance, if a girl is going to date a guy named John Smith and John Smith has a bunch of followers, just look up John Smith exposed on YouTube and you're going to find like all the shit I've done this before with girls. And you explain to them like, so he's a sex offender. He's got 2 felonies. You know what I'm saying? He bought his followers, et cetera, et cetera. She's still going to go date him, by the way. But like, I think men should have a dude who's just like, and it doesn't have to be a dude. It could be a female, but a third party that they can go to and be like, I'm going to do a little bit of investigation and then come back to you. I wish somebody would do that for like some of my female friends who just get caught up. If you ever talk to a girl who's dated 3 narcissists in a row, it's because she doesn't have any male guidance in her life to set her straight on this bullshit. I think women should have some level of like, and I don't mean male guidance because men are smarter. I mean male guidance because the things that this guy does to trick you, he's not going to trick me. I don't care how sweet he is to you and how like he makes you feel when he looks at you with his pretty blue eyes. That shit is not going to work on me. So I'm probably a better person to investigate this guy you're dating than you are. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. I would have at least one guy friend or one person who can actually like do a little bit of research and give you like a real understanding. Look up the hoe facts. You all, by the way, as a guy, you should also have a guy friend who like can look up the girls that you date and look up the hoe facts. You should do the same thing. I really do think you should investigate. You'd have a lot less people complaining about bipolar and narcissism if somebody would do some investigation. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. David, what's your question? David Drysdale. And go ahead, unmute.
Good evening, Michael. Happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it.
Quick question. How do I balance so I have an optimal day in life? I work in the day. I'm a service tech, HVAC, and I go to school at night, and I'm going for mechanical engineering.
Right now, I don't know if you can. I mean, if you're going to choose to stay with the college route while you're working, you're just not going to have any balance. And the thing is, you're young enough to handle it, David. It just sucks. Like people just have to go through this. This is going to be a thing that you're going to have to do for a while. I will tell you that like putting effort into your social media bit by bit over the course of several months, it's going to pay dividends. Like having a fleshed out, like looking relevant is going to pay dividends. You're going to have to do a lot less work to meet women if you just do that. But it's not something you need to rush. It's not something you need to rush.
Okay. I mean, because right now, I do have a hard time meeting women now because where I work, I meet only guys, and my engineering classes, they're mostly men. So I don't really have I do go to the gym. I work out with a couple of buddies of mine, but I don't really
so MOA is about is the most efficient way in order to meet the most high status people, including women. So the trick is, how do you get in the best club in your city the easiest and get into VIP the quickest, so you can talk to the prettiest girls the quickest and get the most reference experience the quickest. That's what the program is about. So like I would do those things and I would just follow the first 4 steps of MOA. They're not meant to be horribly time consuming.
Okay.
There's no time limit. You're not in the program, so there's no time limit on doing that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I love it. Last 2 questions.
Right.
Ali, what's your question? Hold on, Ali. Go ahead.
Hey, Michael, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, look, I started a TikTok channel about a year ago. 90% are women from all around the world, mainly around Africa for some reason. And I started to do so. Basically, I worked out to sell a product. Okay. And I worked out to sell a product for TikTok dating. I don't know. It worked. Okay. I made a course.
This is for women.
Women only. Yeah.
Okay. Was it teaching them? I'm really interested in this because most women just swipe left 1,000 times for every one time they go on a date. No,
yeah,
I believe the number. I believe the number. By the way, you guys should look this up. It's in the book called The Book of Numbers by Aaron Clary. I believe the number is 6,000 left swipes per every one date. I believe that's what the number is for women on average.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, look, it went well. So I made a lot of videos to promote the product as much as I could. I got about 1,000 women into the course. They didn't want to pay, okay, but they signed up. They watched the course and everything, and they, they did this. Anyways, the point of what I'm saying is that now TikTok, because I go live as much as I can on TikTok, and they've throttled the shit out of my actual channel because the swearing, the red pill content, and all that kind of stuff. There's certain things that TikTok doesn't want you to say. Play the game, but don't explain how the game works, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, with 39,000 followers just sitting there doing nothing, I've had to start a new channel, and what I want to do now is actually do a live podcast outside in public, and do a dating show live outside, like street talk.
Okay.
And so I'm setting up all my stuff, and I've set up my van to actually do it anywhere within Australia, where I am right now, Melbourne and everything. The point that I'm trying to make is, how do I make money from it? And this is the part where I'm confused. Do I have to promote businesses? Do I have to promote? So one of the things I wanted to ask you is that when I watch Access Vegas with you and Rollo, the questions that you ask the panel, just amazing. I don't know how you get away with it, but it just rolls. It flows so nicely. The invention of the transistor, just simple things like that. And then it goes to women talking about, an orgasm, this, and if there's no orgasm, there's not cheating. Like, it's just some of the funniest shit. Yesterday, I watched that show twice, and I was just like, wow, just amazing. So the questions that I want to ask in public, I don't want to offend people, but that's the thing. When you're out in public, what's the line? What's the limit?
So this is going to be a weird answer you're not going to expect. If you get if you do it at nighttime and you get a bigger light and a more expensive camera, the more expensive camera and the more expensive looking
the production quality you're talking about.
Yeah, the production quality.
Yeah.
Women will do anything for you.
Yeah, I say, look, I've set up all that stuff. I've got Lumix cameras.
If you walked up with a guy had a red with a huge fucking light on it.
That's too big.
One that's nice. No, I agree. I'm just follow my example. And then you had like a $1,000 Sennheiser like wireless microphone, and you're just going back and forth like this, and you were wearing a suit, and you went up to a girl and did this, and you were like, we were just out here asking whores what it's like being a whore. What's it like being a whore? And you said that to them. They'd be like, well, I think blah blah blah. They would not care. If the light was big enough. Guys, I know what I'm saying is so fucking offensive, but I just watch it all day long. Women who are like super picky, break up with their boyfriends, and then cheat on them with a dude who's an OnlyFans content creator because he has a bunch of followers, and they fuck him on her channel. I have watched this. She leaving a perfectly good marriage to do this shit. If you are popular, people just break every fucking rule. Fame, like Blazarian, when he was on the call yesterday, he came on the debate that I was on, but we couldn't record it because Dan doesn't want to record it. He was like, fame, like 100x is everything. It's like what fame will do is you'll end up having sex in places you just never thought you were going to have sex. Like, you'll be sitting at a club and some girl will like literally try to ride your dick like in the club. You'll be in a bathroom, in a car, like all kinds of, that's what he said. That's how he explained it. Okay. Ali, I'm telling you, if you just had any kind of following at all and you did this, there's nothing you couldn't get away with from the girls. Now, TikTok's a different story. TikTok isn't going to like some of those words, which is why I blank everything out. TikTok is somehow like aligned me with red pill content. I mean, not somehow, obviously it's pretty obvious how, and they've throttled me too, but my account keeps growing. So I'm just going to deal with it, whatever.
Yeah. So I've started up a new account. Actually got multiple accounts. One is going to be for dating at nighttime, and the other one's going to be for the community during the day. Two different things. One is business based, and one is dating based. Completely two different things.
Your dating based one is going to 20x your business based one.
And that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's going to 20x. You will get 20 times faster growth on the dating one. YouTube is just set up for that. Business based stuff, it does well, but you have to exaggerate. There has to be a G550 behind you while you're wearing the AP or the paddock. Does that make sense? And you pull.
I get what you're saying.
and the Bugatti. If you do that and then talk about business, then they'll listen. People have very short attention spans. A lot of the traffic, like one of the things, I can't remember who was talking about this. I think it was, oh no, it was Alex Mayer, who, by the way, I'm interviewing him tomorrow. Who's Ty Lopez's business partner. Alex was saying there's a study talking about like the correlation between YouTube comments and psychopathy. Because he brought up a great point and something I brought up before, like talking on a live stream normally or giving someone constructive criticism, that's normal. I've actually done that before. When I ask guys who are like multimillionaires, how many times you've commented on a YouTube video, they're like, never. Like, what, how do you even comment on a YouTube video? And I was like, who are these people commenting and saying, like, talking shit to me on YouTube? And it was funny. I could not figure it out for the life of me. I'm like, are these just people like 40-year-old virgins? Like, who's doing it? And it was Zerka of all people who finally told me who it was. It was 13-year-old boys, 15-year-old boys who shouldn't even be on the platform. They're the ones who are like talking all the shit. It's almost exclusively them. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I watch Mr. Beast and like, congratulations to him. He's the biggest thing on YouTube. Congrats to him. His videos are unwatchable. I have no idea how somebody can sit through that shit. But if I was an ADD, like 18-year-old or 15-year-old kid, then I get it. Like Jake and Logan Paul, when they were doing those Vine videos, unwatchable. Don't understand them at all. But if I was a lot younger and my attention span was different, then maybe that I would find that stuff to be a lot more entertaining. And then that's when I started to realize, like, who are these people writing this shit on my wall? And I realized, oh, they're just 15-year-old kids. Yeah, that's the reason. Like, the reason why Andrew Tate went so viral so quickly is because he was talking about adult-themed contents, not pornographic, but just like adult, like for grown-ups, like not for kids. He was talking about adult-themed content, but he was telling it to children. And they sucked it up like a sponge. And their likelihood of commenting is 1,000x a normal guy who makes $1 million a year.
Right. So should I be working on the questions that I'll be asking some random people about dating, about certain age groups? Like the question, do you use?
I would do all of it. I would just do everything you're saying. If you want to do 2 channels, if you're willing to put in the work, the answer is yes, do 2 channels. If you're asking me like, should I work on this? The answer is both. Because the thing is, Ali, what's going to happen is the market's going to tell you. The market's going to let you know. I do content on everything, and my engagement on YouTube is okay. There's this, guys, you want to look at something funny? Go on YouTube and look up MOA.podcast. They're one of my affiliates. They're growing faster than I am. All they're doing is content that shits on women. They're thumbnails. They're like really like shitting on women. I don't shit on women in the video, but like that's what their thumbnails look like. They're growing so much faster than my channel is.
So one of the things
that the market tells you,
one of the things,
because that's what 15-year-old kids want to see. They want to see they want to see Myron dunk on women. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, of course. That's Myron. That's his style. Yep. One of the things that teaching men body language and how to talk to women, it's how do we get to that stage? What's the solution to this problem?
Why do we need to, the reason I meant to, this is the first part of your question. I forgot to answer this. Sex is so available to women. I just don't know that there's a lot of money in what you're doing. Also, female self-improvement that doesn't include a personal trainer or a makeup coach isn't a thing. It just isn't. Like have you ever been to a self-help conference?
No.
No. Okay. If you go, you're going to find that 99% of the people are.
But they're losers.
No,
losers.
Men. 99% of the people who go to self-help conferences are men. No, some of those dudes at those self-help conferences are deca millionaires. They're very, very successful. My attorney goes to a bunch of like the Dan Fleischman ones. No, the guys who go to self-help conferences are 99% men. Women do not feel that they need self-help because the world doesn't tell them no, especially if they're attractive.
Yeah. Look, I actually listened to the Book of Numbers when it first was released, like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And that did change a lot of things, the way I view everything. Pretty much everything that you see around us is because of women.
Yes. It's because
just about everything.
It's like you want to complain about a patriarchy, but yet women are a gender that only respects men as far as their status and income are concerned. So what as men, if we want access to sex, what do we have to do? We have to aggressively acquire status and income. Well, if one of the genders is trying harder to acquire status and income, then that same gender, it would lead you to believe the next logical step would be for that gender to take over all positions of power in a vast majority. It makes sense. That's what happens. I'm not blaming women for a patriarchy. I'm just telling women they reward men for doing things that a patriarchy requires of them. If a patriarchy requires men to talk, to lead other men, to produce, to generate wealth and income, and to hold levels of power, if that's what a patriarchy requires of them, and they do so because that's what women admire, then women are rewarding the behaviors that men have that then create that patriarchy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not that the patriarchy is good or bad. It's that evolution created men to understand. Well, some of us understand, a lot of us don't anymore. We're only valuable based on our performance. And so because we have the burden of performance, we get, not only do we have the burden of performance, we get better at performing. In that we are better at performing, we're better at putting out fires, building buildings, giving speeches, lifting the weight, leading the men, other things, doing the deal, negotiating, making the business happen, making the connection, traveling somewhere, shaking the hand, looking someone in the eye, selling the house. We're better at those things because we have a burden of performance. Wouldn't it also lend you to believe that if an entire gender is judged based on those factors, would they not also take over the world? I'll give you an example. I worked for a guy who had an event planning company. When I met him, this guy would do all the mass texting for all the girls in the event. And then one day he just didn't want to do it anymore. And he made me do all the mass texting, but I do it from my account. And one day, so what's happened is the burden of performance is now taken off of him and put onto me. Well, guess what happens after a couple of years of that? The girls stopped showing up to the events for him. They only show up to see me. And he didn't like that. But because he had put that burden of performance on me, I was at a lower status than him, so he could do that. But because I wanted, the approval of nightlife directors or whatever, I did the thing that was required of me, which made me better at doing that thing, which then led me to recruiting all the girls for every bikini competition in the city, and then having 50 girls show up to my birthday party. Because the burden of performance was placed upon me, I got better at performing. And you could do the same thing with engineering, space flight, flying fighter jets, defending your country, trading equities, trading fixed income, getting into developing apps, whatever it is. If you as a man know that you are judged so much, like you are totally judged on your ability to perform, then all you know is to perform. And if all you do is perform every day, you get better at performing, meaning you now have the skill set to create a patriarchy. And that's essentially what's going to happen. It's the inevitability of it. Not to mention the 17 times as much testosterone that you have compared to women. I'm not saying patriarchy is good or bad. I'm just telling you it's inevitable. It
is what it is.
Yes. Now, 200 years from now, could we be living in a society the way that Destiny describes today's society, meaning like security and firefighting and whatever, the ability to conduct violence is going to be done by drones and artificial intelligence, and therefore men don't need to be masculine anymore? He's not wrong. Maybe in 200 years, it'll be like that. It's not like that today, though. It's not like that today. Most police forces, good police forces, have mostly men. Most firefighters are mostly men. Most fighter pilots are mostly men. 100% of infantry are men. That's the world we live in today. But also most app developers are men. And the reason why that is not because women are being pushed out of those deals, is that sometimes women, even when they're mid, have an alternative. Average looking women are still half the male population that would like do anything to fuck them.
Talking about apps, there's a couple things. Sorry, I've got one more question for you. What's your thoughts on a video dating app?
Love it. Yeah, I mean, of course, because you're using evolutionary psychology. Yes, anything. So dating, yes. Yeah. I get to see them, so I get to get around the catfishing shit. Agree with all of it. Terrific. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about dating apps. Here's the thing about dating apps. When they come out, there's an alpha in there for men. So for good-looking men to go in there and just get like easy lays. Then once those women have been fucked by all those fucking what are they called? The fucking lover boy love bombing alphas. Then you start to see that alpha drop, and then the women start to get jaded, and all that's left on the platform are mothers of 4 who are divorced, or people that women who have mental disorders. That's all that's left. That's all Tinder is, by the way. And then you start to see that, And then the next one, then Raya comes out, and then all the hot girls move to Raya. And then now Raya is sort of leveled out. And then when you come up with your new app, the trick with dating apps is to keep coming up with a new one every 2 years.
And the other one is dating reviews. So basically, just imagine someone gets on.
Interesting.
Someone
That's
gets
a
on
really
there.
Cool idea.
So you can use your Instagram picture. Some girl puts a photo of that person, puts it on that website, puts a 5-star review or a 0-star review or whatever happened on that day.
So you're in, like, again, so like, just to say, like, my girlfriend Kylie, let's use a real life example. My girlfriend would never be incentivized to leave a 5-star review about going on a date with me, because the last thing she wants is other women to go on a date with me. So you're not incentivized to do that. Right. Same thing with you, Ali. If some girl gives you just like the fucking like mega Gluck 9,000 blowjob, you're not going to go tell everyone else about it because you want to keep her to yourself. So I don't think that that doesn't fit. Your first concept fits within an evolutionary psychology, because you're looking for honest signs. So I like the first one. You're looking for honest genetic cues. Does he actually look like he says he purports to in his photos? Does she look like what she purports to look like? The second one doesn't work, because the problem is I don't want to reward if I'm very attracted to someone, I don't want other potential competition to know about it.
Well, on the other hand, like I'll give you a simple story. One of my female friends,
but they will get bad reviews. They will get bad reviews. Go ahead.
She went out on a date, went straight to his house. She got a period. The guy put on a condom on. They started doing it. Then it happened. Then then they stopped. He stopped and he jumped in the shower. When he came out of the shower, he goes, "I need you to finish me off or you're not going home." She ended up finishing him off. And then from there, she went home crying in tears and blocked him. Of course. It's dickheads.
But hold on, Ali, she also agreed to go to a guy's house she just met and have sex with him immediately. Like, Ali, we're missing two different pieces of context here. Number one,
I'm listening.
Where is her mental state to allow her to put herself in this situation? I don't know very many women who are fucking on the first date off Tinder. Like, the guy has to be so outrageously good looking, and she must have just walked in on her boyfriend sucking another guy's dick. Like, that level of bitterness in order for that to happen. If she's hot, if she's like mentally messed up, then not so much. And number two, when he says, "You're going to get me off or you're not leaving here," guys talk dirty in bedrooms, dude. We can never take those words to be, if you heard the things that Kylie and I say to each other in private, they sound bad, but that's a role we play. We don't know the context of that conversation. So I'm not going to trust either side on this one. The fact that she went home and cried, I actually think is just as likely a function of her internal beliefs about herself. Remember, Ali, we got to remember this. She met a dude on Tinder and fucked him immediately while she was on her period. What does that say? The fact that she's crying about it afterwards. Yeah, but there's other things going on. There's pieces of the transmission and the air conditioning unit that are missing out of the car. There's parts that are broken here, and we're not well-adjusted women just don't do that. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I've been on some Tinder dates. If a girl
the point of what I'm
saying
saying is
quickly, I'd be terrified. And like, this woman has herpes. Like, there's no fucking way. A Tinder date, bro. If a girl on Tinder is throwing the vagina at you that quickly, it's herpes or a penis is down there between her legs. Beware, bro. I'm serious.
So
that is crazy.
So that's why I was
Women
like, what about
picky? Women should be picky.
So that's what I was saying about the date reviews. So they can review both of them.
Again, that's fine. But okay, now you do a date review and now I'm suing you for defamation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why no one's ever done it. So
yeah, I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you.
I really don't like the idea of monetizing that. I do like the idea of Facebook groups where you say people who are on Tinder and then they can give reviews of their dates. That would work. A separate Facebook or Telegram group. Now, Facebook would be better. Facebook groups where you did that would be ancillary, like an additional add-on to your platform. I could see that working. Some kind of message board, maybe Reddit, something like that. So I could see that working. And then one of my favorite sites, I haven't been on it, but the idea of it just makes me laugh, is Are We Dating the Same Guy? Have you seen there's a Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy?
I heard about this.
They do it for different cities. That stuff I love. I love that. I love it. I don't mind dudes being players. I don't like dudes who are liars. I don't mind dudes being players. I just don't like dudes who are liars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I have a female friend that I genuinely care about and she's getting love bombed and she just doesn't know better because she's young. I totally understand that. It happens. You got to go through shit. But like when you have a female friend who's like in her like early 30s and she's legit trying to have a baby and some dude is just like fucking around with her, that kind of makes me mad. That's what happened to my friend CJ. Some dude did that to her and I just really wasn't feeling him anymore after he did that shit.
Yeah.
She's trying to have a kid now. You know what I'm saying? You're wasting her life. You're wasting her fucking life. What just my point is be a player. Don't worry about that shit. Get your money right, like looks max, all that kind of shit. Work on your voice, your presentation, and just straight up tell every girl, hey, listen, I'm seeing 4 other girls. All power to you, pimp. It's all good. She's belong to the streets. It's fine. It's not a big deal. They belong to everybody. If you want to do that, if you want to play that game, I'll help you play that game. Just don't be a liar. Being a liar is just fucking low status, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you an
That's
example.
it,
Right?
man.
I'll give you an example. Vladimir Putin, 2 months before he invaded Ukraine, told everyone, all these other countries, he wasn't going to invade Ukraine. Do you guys remember this? He said to everyone, I'm not going to invade Ukraine. Then he invades Ukraine. From a military or strategic standpoint, that was a really smart move. From a diplomatic standpoint, that was fucking dumb as shit. No country will ever get into a diplomatic agreement or a military agreement with Russia as long as that man is the president. Tell me I'm wrong. When you're a liar, it does work in the short run, but it doesn't work in the long run. You see what I'm saying?
I don't watch the news, Michael. I'm just letting you know. I don't watch mainstream media at all. I think it's all fake and bullshit.
Love it. All right, last 2 questions. Thomas, what's your question? And Thomas, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Hi, Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, cheers. I just want to get your opinion on passive aggressiveness. Like I really respect how direct you are, but from my understanding, after looking at the definition of passive aggressiveness, pretty much all of society is passive aggressive.
Yes, most of society is passive. Someone is saying, hold on, he says she belongs to the streets, bricks. They are all aligning with him. Well, I don't know if you noticed this. They're talking about Vladimir Putin. China denounced his invasion of Iraq, and then his own military leader, who he had killed recently, turned on him and went back into Moscow. So you're emphatically incorrect. Also, BRICS hasn't done shit if you haven't noticed. And India and China are going to take advantage of Russia afterwards. I will say this before and I'll say it again. And I'm saying this as a political conservative, and I know a lot of conservatives don't like this. This invasion of Ukraine will go down as the worst military campaign in the last 100 years. The dumbest thing any military leader has ever done. The fact that they haven't been able to take over a country that's 1/4 their size is lunacy. And you're like, well, yeah, because the UN, play with your boobies, the UN helped Ukraine. Where? Bitch, did you not know that was going to happen? Then you're fucking stupid. Cool. That's all I want to say. All right. Anyway, going back to the thing, Thomas, one more time, say it again. Passive aggressive behavior. So here's the thing.
Yeah. So
I'll have a guy. Let me give you an example. A guy will come to one of my shoots and he'll just be like creepy with the girls. And I'll take him aside and be like, hey man, I just want to let you know, I don't know what the truth is. And I can't believe them or you, but what I am going to tell you is this. In the end, the girls have to come first or I can't keep doing these photo shoots. So if girls continue to tell me that you make them feel uncomfortable, you're not going to be invited again. Do you understand? I'm not telling you this because I don't like you. I'm telling you this because I do like you. That's not being passive aggressive. That's being direct. And I'm giving them a lot more context than, bitch, get the fuck out of here. That's being directive and that's being aggressive, but it's not giving context. You can be direct if you allow for context and check the tone of your voice. We have to do this because a lot of times Grant and Miguel, my 2 partners, are very critical of my ideas and my behavior. Very critical. But they know how to deliver it to me in a normal way. The difference, the opposite of passive aggressive is not aggressive. The opposite of passive aggressive is direct. Direct. Got it?
Yes.
Got it?
Yeah. And how do you practice doing that? Or how do you Yeah, but it's because I know it's a learned behavior in me to
Yeah.
be passive aggressive.
So it's like, how do you practice jumping out of an airplane? The first time you just have to do it. It's going to feel, you're going to be nervous as shit, and it's going to be really hard to do. Many people have gone up in the airplane and just weren't able to jump. If you ever go to those jump schools, like at San Diego or the ones that we have here in Vegas or whatever, if you ask the pilots, how often do people go up and just not jump? And they're like, all the time. It happens all the time. People just can't jump. Getting over passive aggressive behavior and just being direct with people is like jumping out of the airplane. It gets progressively easier the more you do it. And when what did it for me, what cured me of that behavior, do you know what it was, Thomas? It was being in a fucking airplane that where we didn't communicate, we would die. When you're in that type of situation, the veneer of life just comes off and you speak to people directly without anger or emotion, because your life depends on it and the mission depends on it. Nav, could you put the gear down? Nav, can we put the gear down? Guys, can we check the gear? Gear. Abort. Do you understand?
Sure.
There's no anger in it. And because I do it with no anger, then the person can accept constructive criticism. Thomas, you're going to give constructive criticism. This goes for your guy friends, definitely people you do business with. If they can accept constructive criticism, leave them in your circle. If they can't accept constructive criticism, you can't grow with them. There's certain guys that I work with now. They're not part of my company, but they're like loosely affiliated with my company. And these guys can't accept constructive criticism, but they're fantastic technicians and artists. So I have sort of like I keep them at arm's reach. I like working with them, but I also know there's only a certain level I can grow with them because they don't accept constructive criticism. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Now,
yeah, that's
most women I know can't accept constructive criticism. The only examples that I see are like a lot of the girls that come on Access Vegas, they can accept constructive criticism. You cannot build a business with people you cannot have conversations with. Have you finished Crucial Conversations? Have you finished that book?
No, I haven't. I'm
going
there you through.
go. Thomas, here's the easier answer. Read that book. Read that book.
Fantastic.
Read that book and The Extreme Ownership. Those two books. If you want to get over passive aggressive communication, those two books. Got it?
Fantastic. No, thank you so much.
Beautiful. Last question is Christian Ramirez. Christian, what's your question?
Hello, Michael. You hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine. What's going on, Christian?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Christian. Happy late birthday.
Appreciate it.
Yes, I have a bunch of questions. I'm not fully part of the program right now, but I have like reserved kind of like my seat because unexpected situation happened, and then I had to take care of some of family emergency situation. But I'm kind of like in a foggy place right now. I do have some kind of experience hanging out with some famous people and artists. I'm a president of a music label.
Okay.
We do trap in Spanish and stuff like that. We just recently won 2 gold cities for RIA, 2 recognitions for a song we made like 7 years ago. That's not the point. I also have some what is it called? Some certificates and some business course I
Christian,
do.
I understand that you have some accolades. What's the question though?
Oh yes. The question is, how can I improve my income and also
Christian, what country do you live in?
I live in Michigan, in the United States.
Okay, beautiful. Keep going.
Yes. Yeah. So, but I'm native from Colombia.
Okay, me too. Well, I'm not native. My mom is, but go ahead.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I'm born and raised there. Yeah, I also speak 4 languages and stuff. Anyway, yeah, the question is, how I need a little calibration on in a communication skill setup, and I need an advice for that, because sometimes, like one of my coaches told me, like when you do not how do I say this? When you cannot tell somebody a constructive criticism without being like, I'm too direct sometimes. So, so people think I'm an asshole. So like they told me, if you're not trying to do it with love, then that's straight up mean. You know what I mean? So I trying to work in that, because people see me as a mean person sometimes. They say I'm an asshole, whatever, because I'm too direct sometimes. I'm not pull up with bullshit and stuff like that. Um, that's one thing. The other thing is I used to make like decent amount of money, like let's say 3 to 4K a week and stuff. But now I quit the job because of health issues and stuff like that. And then I study and I also work on myself on, trying to be a high status, also like work on yourself first kind of base before you can like, you know what I mean? Do the rest. I think there's a solid foundation to work on. And I'm just kind of foggy. I'm trying to like go back on my prime, like you know what I mean? I had some experience dealing with models and being around famous people and stuff like that. But sometimes I don't necessarily like, I'm looking for more in a girl than just the looks.
Christian,
be
you
honest.
asked me, Christian. So I'm going to tell you the first issue. You've asked me 4 different questions. They've been like run-on sentences. You've told me that you're looking for a different type of girl, and you've asked me how to make more money. There's like, 100 people watching us on YouTube. So the clarification of what you want and the way you communicate how you want it is the first assignment you have. You need to be able to ask these questions in 15 seconds or less, and it needs to be very clear what it is you want.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
The run on
Okay.
explaining about multiple accolades, that is not helpful to anyone, and they're not going to be able to help you. You need to be able to ask specific questions, and you need to be able to do it in 2 or 3 sentences. The other thing is, it's just kind of obvious. You live in Michigan. I would total assimilation. I would like try to get as good at sounding as. One of the problems is, and I hate to say that it's like this, but if you are from another country and have an accent like you're from another country, and in addition, you're explaining complicated ideas, people just like lose attention for it. So working on your diction and speech to where someone who's a native English speaker can hear you and hear you quickly, that would be my priority if I were you.
Okay.
If you want to stay in the United States,
Yeah, no, I've been living here for I've been here for over 10 years. Okay, just a simple question. So I did close my Instagram because of some security issues we were having with the label, because rap music or trap is kind of dangerous sometimes in Puerto Rico. And me, by being the president, by association, stuff like that, you gotta be.
Okay, so Christian, do you see you're doing? Hold on, Christian. Do you see you're doing it again? So I asked you to ask a question in 15 seconds. You have gone back and explained to me again that you're the president of a label. You've done it again. And so now what's happened is the rest of us are listening, and we still don't know what your question is. I understand that you want to describe certain factors in your life, but I'm telling you, as far as communicate, you're asking me, how do you increase your income? You increase your income by being a better networker and being a better communicator. Can you ask the question and do so in 2 sentences? Go.
I lost my last Instagram. Do I need to build another one, or do I try to restore the old one?
I don't know what's on either one, but my answer to you is, if you're going to work in the music industry, yes, you must have an Instagram.
No, I used to have one. I say, do I try to restore that old one?
Again,
or
there's
just
no,
build the new one?
I can't see. So there's not, I don't have enough context to tell you. If the old one has 4 million followers and about 800 people with blue check marks following you, then I would say keep the old one. If the old one has 100 followers, I don't see why you would get rid of the old one. I don't understand why. Because you're worried about people hurting you?
No, it was some kind of like security situation.
Again, you're doing it again. Like, we don't understand what you're talking about as security. I grew up around Puerto Ricans. I know they're fucking dangerous. I don't know what that has to do with your Instagram.
Yeah, just by association. Anyways, but it's less than 10 million people. Yes, it is. It's like probably 4,000 followers, something like that.
Yeah, I would just open it back up, and I really don't think people are going to care that much. Don't post your address on your Instagram. You should be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for that advice. And what about the like maybe improving the income situation to try to
So take, like I said before, take a job or have a situation where you can listen to audiobooks like crazy. I think like at the like you don't know what you don't know yet, number one, and you don't know what problems you're capable of solving or want to solve or problems that exist out there until you get enough information. And I vastly prefer books over YouTube videos. YouTube videos take you down a rabbit hole. There's an algorithm that controls you, makes you start believing in bullshit. I don't like the YouTube algorithm for things like this. I would go through the book list on my school server and just read every single book on there. And then wherever that takes you is probably a healthier place. You're listening to those books while you're doing your work. That's the best thing I can tell you. Discover the job or discover the problem you're going to solve. Everybody needs to say this with me. Stop saying things like residual income. Stop saying things like follow your passion. Stop saying things like I want to be an entrepreneur. Stop saying those words. They're meaningless. Here's the words you need to say. What problem am I solving for money? That's the only thing you should ever be asking yourself. What problem am I solving? Michael, how do I get my OnlyFans agency to make a bunch of money? What problem are you solving? There's tons of OnlyFans agencies. Nobody needs one. You're not solving a problem. What problem am I solving for money? Stop thinking about you. Start thinking about the problem that you're solving. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Awesome. Love you guys. Great call. Really great. One more time. There is no excuse. I'm telling you, I will disown all of you and may a curse be upon your home if you do not at least join our fucking free school server. I have been on here. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm asking you guys to join our free school server. There is so much great content on there that you can get just from going on there and just clicking this link and joining us right there. If you're not in the school server, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not, oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong link. Give me 1 second. My bad. I did it wrong. Stand by. There it is right there. Okay, cool. There's the free school server right there. Guys, you have to join the free school server. There's just no excuse. There's so much value that we can give you if you guys just join that. For those of you who are on YouTube, one more time, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to post it right here. There's the free school server. Last quote here. I have 2 more super chats from the Art of Violence. Who is the next big male role model now that Tate is losing relevancy? Easier way to build a social circle in LA. Easier way to build. How do you find smart girls for your social circle? Hey man, this Art, you're gonna have to ask this question. There's no way I can answer this. It's too long. Easier to build a social circle in LA. Is it easier than Vegas? No, Vegas is easier. I don't think Tate is losing relevancy. He's still his podcasts are blowing up like crazy. And how do you find smart girls? Here's the answer. You find smart girls the same way you find dumb girls. You're not attractive to smart women. You're attractive to all women, and that is the trick. And then last one, you go, women don't need self-help until they lose their looks. That's an interesting observation that you made there. Awesome. Guys, make sure you click that school server right there. For those of you who are interested in, like, you've seen essentially what we're doing, and you don't need to like wait any longer. Just go to MOAmentoring.com. Guys, I promise you, let me see if I can get this to work. Go to MOAmentoring.com. If you guys want to sign up for the program, it's right there for you. We can set up for a call for you. We can set up a call for you right now. You guys feel free to join the program. There's already 700 guys in the program. It's not going to be something that you're going to experience. Oh, one other thing, let me point this out because they told me to say this and I forgot to say it. It's a money back guarantee. If you don't like the program, then we just give you your money back. It's like there's all the risk is on us. We're going to change your social circle and completely change your life in 90 days, period. It's going to be shorter than 90 days, but I'm required to say 90 days. 90 days, because it sounds official, but it's not going to take 90 days. You guys could join us. Go click the link, join the school, at least set up a call with somebody, figure out whether or not you're qualified to do this. I promise you, we have like a less than 1% refund rate. And the only time we ever have refunds is for 2 reasons. Number one, someone has hit some like dire financial hardship, which happens. It happens. Somebody dies, stuff happens, you break your leg. Or 2, it's people literally trying to steal our course and sell it on Reddit. And there's 100 people trying to sell our course on Reddit. So let me ask you guys a question. If there's hundreds of people trying to sell my course, does that mean to you that it works or it doesn't work? What do you think? If Justin Waller wants to come on my show and Ty Lopez and Brad Lee, and I was just talking to Andrew Tate and I'm doing a course with Dan Bilzerian, does that tell you that my course doesn't work or that it does work? What does that tell you? If just out of curiosity, if you go through my life and my life just on a regular basis looks like my life on just a regular weekly basis looks like this, does that tell you that my course does work? Does that tell you my course does work or that it doesn't work? What does that tell you? Would that be irrefutable visual evidence that I do know how to build a social circle or that I don't? If there's 700 people in the program already, and we've been around for just a little over 2 years, does that mean it does work or that it doesn't? If you're interested in finding out if it does work and how, just go to MOAmentoring.com. Guys, I will see you guys who are in the program who joined Fight Club this week. Welcome to fucking Fight Club, motherfucker. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Actually, no, we will not be doing the call tomorrow. The Tuesday call is going to be Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. PST. Remember that. If you guys are on the Tuesday call, it's moved to Wednesday because I have 2 interviews tomorrow. And I will see all of you guys who are on this Monday call. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And I'll